Enough of this unk. My knees are hurting just looking. Just looking at Grandpa over here. Let's get some. No. Not this. No. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to another Thick Thursday. Hi. Cute shirt. I know, dude. We're stepping on up in the world. We're moving on from one shirt denims. Wish they got it. The crazy thrift find. It was only like $7 or something. It was kind of crazy. In this economy? $7 shirt in this economy? Kind of crazy. Anywho, wow, you've changed, Denims. Are you good? A screaming corn? You good, buddy? You need some water or something, then? You good? I don't think they're good, Chad. I don't think that guy's good. Anyways, good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are having a good Thursday so far. I got myself a little Red Bull. Hold up. Nice little crack. Wait a minute. Speaking of crack, did you guys see that Republican sitting in his fucking Mazda doing crack in broad daylight? I thought crack... Okay, admittedly, I've never had any crack, so I don't know. But I thought crack was supposed to keep you awake. Crack is whack? But I thought it was like... supposed to keep you awake. Maybe he's self-medicating for his ADHD. That's just how badly he needed the crack. It does for days on end. Sometimes if you're addicted. Well, I know it's like... I know that's what... I know meth keeps you awake for days. But I thought crack also keeps you awake. Oh, cocaine keeps you awake. Crack gives you a 10 to 15 minute buzz, and then you just want to do more crack. Oh. So, like, League of Legends, basically, is what you're telling me? The number of times where I'm like, I want to play so bad, and then I queue in a game, and I look at my comp, and I'm like, let's get me out of this game. Let's go next. Come on. Go next. Come on. Go next. Go next. Go next. All right. Crack is good for housework. Interesting. Interesting. Arcane made me want to play League. I like how League of Legends is like the anti-Marvel Rivals. Rivals was so good, it made me go watch a bunch of Marvel movies. And I like how Arcane was so good, it made people go and install League. And then immediately uninstall it. Oh, God. Anyways, alright. My most crack users are house moms. Is that true? Admittedly, I know very little about crack. Admittedly. I would say I know nothing about it except that people smoke it. That's it. That's all I know. I don't know anything else about it. Sorry. Fake leftist. Anyways, enough of that. Enough. Then you might be getting trolled. No, chat? Troll me? Never. They would never do that. Wait, I can't focus with the music. It's too bopping. Yo, this playlist is pretty good. Put this playlist in my... Yeah, okay, there we go. Anyways, guys, good morning, everyone. We have, for the third time, we have a lot of things to get to first and foremost for our main story today. I'm sure everyone has already been talking about it and thinking about it and, you know, I don't know, discussing. But Graham Platner dropped out, and he was accused of rape from a credible source. And I just want to say, you remember when I said months ago? I don't even know if it was months ago. It was like maybe like a month ago, maybe a little bit more than a month ago, where I was like, I can't. I don't even want to discuss Graham Platner because just like this, I know there's some fuck shit. I'm not touching this. I'm not going to watch any people talk about it. I'm not going to watch people try and convince me against him or for him. I've seen enough. All right? I've seen enough. And I'm glad that I don't live in fucking Maine. All right? Because if I lived in Maine, I don't know that I would be able to vote for him. And let me just say, guys, I am so glad that I never said anything positive or got anywhere near saying anything positive about Graham Platner. Because, man, have you seen the Anna Kasparian clip? Don't stop. I have seen it. Stop. Are you good? I feel like sometimes some chatters, they want to get mad about things. They just want to get mad about things. Like this chatter. North Korean government is the username. W, make it about yourself. You think this guy like talks about their Iran war with other people and they're like, dude, like, I can't pay for fucking gas. And he's like, W, make it about yourself. The fuck are you talking about, man? Maybe that was a troll. I don't know. Actually, if it was a troll, it was a pretty good troll. Actually, if it was a troll, pretty good troll. I am out of practice. We've streamed like one day in like the past billion. I think we've streamed one day in all of July. Maybe 2 days. No, we've streamed one day in all of July, and we're on day number. I almost said J number 9. Day number 9. All right. No, we're back though. We're back, guys. Wait, I have to talk about a couple things. Okay, so I want you guys to see Wormy, but I can't. I can't move any further, but she's right here. Meow. That's my to-do list. Don't look at that. Look at how cute she looks. Oh my god, she looks so cute. Meow. Oh my god. Look at how adorable. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to bother you when you're napping. Please resume your nap for me. I should move it closer to here, but there's this stupid thing here. Maybe I can move this to the other side. The little thing that like makes the standing desk go up and down. So I can put her right here so you guys can always see her. All right. And then I can shock her into place. Right, guys? Anyways, moving on. What were we talking about? What were we talking about? No, I'm not ADHD chat. You guys are. We're talking about Wormy? No. Before that. Oh yeah, Platner. Anyways, yeah. I'm just gonna say I think anyone who thought that Graham Platner didn't pass the smell test could obviously tell. I'm sorry, man. You don't describe like your time being deployed as like the best time of your life. If you're not a crazy person. I don't know, man. Mm, I don't know, man. And I know a lot of people were like, I'm sorry. Personally, if that wasn't enough, he called combat a game. If that wasn't enough, dude, you don't accidentally get a giant Nazi tattoo on your chest. I would understand if it was like something small on his arm in like a sleeve of tattoos where you're just like, I don't know, dude, you went to some random parlor, some random tattoo parlor, and you're like, give me whatever. And then you don't really give a shit. Cause I know people like that. When they get tattoos, they go into a parlor that they like, and they're like, you know what? Just fuck me up, man. Give me whatever you want. And sometimes they're like, I didn't really like that one, but that's okay. You don't accidentally get like a giant Nazi tattoo right here. You know, like right, just like on your tit, man. Uh, I'm sorry, man. I can't. Maybe if the guy was like dumb as rocks, I could understand. But man, I not gonna lie, for all their progressive politics, Maine, Vermont, New England in general have a massive racism and xenophobia problem. Wait until you see the rest of the United States. Ah. I thought it could be possible until I saw the tattoo. No one is getting that thing accidentally. Like, what the fuck? I was imagining a generic skull. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know for a pretty long time that the Black Sun was a Nazi tattoo. Like, I think if he had like a small black sun on his arm in like a collection, like on a sleeve, I think if you don't know shit about that, you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't know what is that? Looks cool, I guess. I can understand that. I really can. I'm trying, but like a giant one right here. A giant. Okay. The third most notable Nazi insignia right here. Do you guys understand? I guess I could be tricked into thinking it was a Warhammer thing, like the Black Sun. Yeah, because I think like the Black Sun is just like some random ass pattern. It's like it's obviously not, to be clear. Actually, it's very funny because when I described it, someone just linked the thing. Let me pull it up. Hold up. Let me pull this up right here. Uh, Black Sun used by esoteric Nazi circles and other neo-Nazi groups. Like, I think if I saw this one, I'd be like, and I didn't know shit about it. Because most Americans, I feel like your education on like most things is so shit. I could understand how someone could get that and not know. And then once they realize, then they replace it, right? But like, uh-huh. Yeah, this is where I'm at. I have a nerd friend who got a couple rune tattoos that he later found out were things Nazis used. The tat Platner had is not like that at all. It's the symbol that the actual Waffen SS had on their caps. Let me see if I can pull up the what it looks like for people who haven't seen it on Platner. So yeah, I remember thinking like, oh well, like how big is the tattoo? Where is it? How many tattoos does he have? What Nazi insignia is it? I was like, let let me see it, and then we'll go from there. And then I saw it, and I was like, guys, like this is a very active decision. All right. This is a very active decision. And it's also, it's not even good either. It looks like shit, man. Okay, not to hop on Zoomer tattoo hate. I actually don't have any hate for any tattoos other than like hateful tattoos, like actual hate symbols as tattoos. Personally, I think you should get whatever tattoos you like, even if other people think they look like shit. Get whatever stupid tattoos you want to get. Like Zoomers hate tattoos? No, no, no. Not to hop on the Zoomer style of tattoo hate. I feel like Zoomers tend to get very millennial, or sorry, not millennial, minimalist style tattoos. Whereas like millennials got like very maximalist tattoos. Not obviously just as a generalization, okay? Um, but I feel like I'm putting Curtis Connor on blast. Um, if this is what Platner looked like, and one of these was like one of the random runes, I'd be like, okay, I guess you can get something like that by mistake. Is that iDubbbz? Listen, not all white men with mullets are the same, okay? All right, guys, don't be so fucking racist against white people, against white boys, all right? Like, I was trying to understand, like, how people could look at a Nazi tattoo on someone and not care about it. And I was like, okay, what world would I maybe lend some grace to someone? I'd be like, yeah, maybe if he was like sleeved up like this and he had like 50 different small tattoos that were all just a bunch of random stupid shit. Like, this is what this guy has tattooed on him. And I'm just picking Curtis Connor because it's the only person I can think of off the top of my head that has a bunch of, and I don't want to put a non-content creator on blast. I think it's more fun to put a content creator on blast. But like, he's got a bunch of random ass shit on it. Like, he's got a random cat, some arms or whatever the hell these things are. Like, just some random ass shit on his arm. So I'd be like, all right, maybe? Like maybe? He's got 4 arms on his forearm. Do you see what I mean? I would absolutely expect Curtis Connor to get some fucking stupid ass rune on his arm and then find out that it's also used as like a Nazi dog whistle and be like, "Oh, well, time to never go to that tattoo parlor again. Now I have to get this shit fucking covered up. All right. Thanks a lot, I guess." I'd be like, "All right. You got to pass, but I'm watching you." But I'm watching you. And then I saw the actual tattoo that Platner had, and it's just one giant tattoo right on his tit. And I'm like, Wormy, you seeing this shit? Wormy, are you seeing this shit? What is this photo? Why does this photo look like it was taken in like the fucking 90s, man? This is like a it looks like he looks like the picture boy for like a motivational article about like um how Reagan failed like the gay community. Do you see what I mean? Like, do you understand what I mean? Like, am I wrong though? Like, am I wrong? Am I wrong? So yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit more. I'm just going over the title for today, for today's Femboy Hooters. Shut the fuck up. No, this is not Femboy Hooters. This is Twink Hooters, all right? All right, moving on from that for a moment. The death heads also technically predate the Nazis, but it's deeply related to German militarism. Runes were originally just how Vikings wrote shit down. Yeah, I mean, it's the same way that like you can say like, oh well, like the swastika wasn't always like a hateful symbol, um, and it was actually, I forget what was it, like a spiritual symbol in India or something? I don't remember what it was. think it was it in Buddhism? It might have been I don't remember. I'm not sure. Um but like everyone knows what that symbol means today if you were born and raised as an American. You know what I mean? If you were born and raised as an American, it's like to me, we are just getting into very Hassan had a Nazi argument. Wrong. Absolutely incorrect. Totally different. Do you know what a commitment is? Do you know how much of a commitment a tattoo is, man? You know what how much of a commitment getting a tattoo on your chest is? A giant tattoo? Mm-mm. But anyways, all right, we're going to get off this topic for a brief moment. We'll come back to it in a moment. Also, I will just say, as a general statement, he also has, like, no other visible tattoos. He only has, like, 2 other tattoos, I think. But, all right. Would you get a tattoo of your worms? No, I would never get, like, a memory of, like, a person or an animal on me. I think I would just get too depressed for that. I understand why other people do, and I respect it, but I can't. I think it would just, like, make me sad every time I saw it. And I understand that that's not how other people feel who get it, but I feel like I know myself well enough to know that I can't. I can't. I would get, like, something stupid. I would rather get something dumb that has no meaning. But also I don't have any tattoos, because every time I think of, like, what I would get, I'm like, and then I look into, like, getting one, I'm like, nah. What was I gonna say? I want to get a cat too. What about a tattoo of the Ramallah Raiders? All right. So I want to talk about that in great detail, or greater detail. Second, I want to talk about flock cameras. I don't know if you guys saw the woman who had the police department try and use fake flock camera footage against her to say that she was the one taking packages off of people's porches, and she literally had video footage of her in her fucking truck and other non-flock camera. And they were like, yeah, well, we're not going to look at that, so... Okay, and then... Islamic Republic of Japan. I think it needs no further words. And then, I wanted to show you guys. There's been so much posting about our legal victory, so I wanted to talk about it, because it was funny as fuck, and I wanted to enjoy it with all of you. All right, so shall we? What's a vlog camera? I'll just get into it, and then we'll go from there. I also saw that there was a new update to the Lego story, but I don't know if we'll get to that or not. But moving on from that, an evolution of flock cameras from January 2024 to July 2026. These are spreading like a plague. Oh, okay, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Why did the first time it played with no music? What the hell? Played the first time with no music, and it was like, all right, second time around, I'll play some music for you. Okay. Rude. Oh, didn't mean to do that. All right, and then I wanted to pull this up. Someone is going around Austin, Texas, cutting them down at the pole. It's funny as fuck. No! You shouldn't do that. Oh my god. Stop it. Hey, Denims in chat. I live under a rock, and I missed most of this. I saw Denims won the case. Is there somewhere I can go to get an overview? I have a video that I made. Actually, I have a video. We should probably pin it or something. I don't know. Nice. Today we're gonna stream it. If you silence, wench. Right, here it is. The video summary is Denims smoking a cigar for 45 minutes. True. All right. Here we go.
With cameras everywhere in that town. You can't get a breath of fresh air in or out without us knowing.
We are in the middle of a full-blown surveillance takeover. While most people were just trying to get to work, drop off the kids, or grab groceries, a quiet invasion rolled into towns and cities all across the United States, turning American streets, and soon enough Canadian ones, if they get their way, into a 24/7 surveillance grid. Flock's surveillance cameras are spreading fast across the US, with more than 100,000 of these AI-powered Flock surveillance cameras now lining American roads. This isn't tomorrow, guys. This is right now. And if we don't expose it and fight it, your neighborhood is next. These cameras aren't just snapping plates. They're building searchable databases of your every move. They're smart machines running Android, solar-powered units on poles, feeding AI and streaming footage to a cloud that catalogs your car, your stickers, your route, and even you yourself, all searchable in seconds. Police in one state can search data from cameras hundreds of thousands of miles away.
Isn't that good that the police now have unlimited databases of footage so that we can truly live in a surveillance state?
And in many cases, that data has been quietly accessed by federal agencies like ICE, the FBI, the ATF, and Customs and Border Protection, all without local authorization or public knowledge. 53 cities have already canceled over unauthorized federal data access. Dayton, Ohio had to bag their cameras like trash because contracts trapped them. But here
Actually, bagging your local Flock camera is good, actually.
here's where it gets personal. These systems aren't just invasive. They're making mistakes that ruin innocent lives. Check out this clip of a woman who was wrongfully accused of stealing a package after police used a Flock camera to ID her vehicle. They showed up at her front door and confronted her like a criminal. She had to prove her own innocence.
I just wanted to ask a quick question. Chatter, you're being sarcastic, right? I'm sus of anyone who can't... Wait, sorry, the chat messages aren't showing up. I'm sus of anyone who can't be surveilled 24/7, 365. Why you gotta hide? You're being sarcastic, right? 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 Yes and no. So you're not being sarcastic, is what you're saying. I don't know why people do that.
This is random.
Silence. Moid. I don't know why people do the yes and no. It's like, no, no. Stop. I just want you to know, this is what's wrong with what you said, Chatter. Why are you worried about mass surveillance if you have nothing to hide? Police showed up at her door with Flock camera, quote, proof that she stole a package. She had time-stamped video from her truck plus neighbor's doorbell proving that she wasn't even there. Cop refused to watch it, saying that's not my job, and the charges were only dropped after weeks of fighting. This is the surveillance state. Guilty until you prove your own innocence. In general, I would argue everyone should stay away from I'm sus of anyone who blah blah blah. What are you hiding from exactly? Never say that. Never say that, chat. Never say it, ever. Because it's always wrong. It's the fastest way to know that you will definitely be wrong soon. Soon. All right, let me pull this up.
Fresh air in or out without us knowing.
Chrisana Elzer learned the power of Flock firsthand.
You were in town from 11:52 until 12:09. Exactly. Like I said, nothing gets in or out of the town without us knowing.
Okay, I can tell, Chatter, you're having a little bit of an episode. Shoot the killers first, IMO. I can see you're having a little bit of an episode. There are no killers in this story. We're talking about a package being stolen off of a porch. So let me give you 2 weeks to get, like, the psychedelics out of your system. All right, and then you can come back.
When a Colorado police officer showed up at her door holding flock
I mean, clearly you're hallucinating, so.
shots of her truck.
And here's when you left at 12:09. That's when you left town.
To get...
No, to stop at Ridge Trail.
Wait a minute.
And take a package. Well, there's no shushing. I don't need to be...
I need to know where this is.
The first thing he pulled out on the body cam is that flock picture, the clear photograph of your car.
But here's your vehicle in the neighborhood many, many times, apparently casing houses, because you just can't drive through for work or visit other businesses. You could.
I hate the constantly being into surveillance, but what's your opinion on the thousands of cameras in China that made it safer for everyone? I will tell you the one bit of reporting that I saw recently on China's surveillance state was that they actually have cameras on street lights, and you get a ticket within like 5 minutes of violating traffic laws, which I think would be a good system in the United States, so people can stop fucking double parking everywhere, so people can stop parking next to fire hydrants, so they can stop fucking parking in disabled spots, so they can stop fucking running red lights. So, yeah. Like, that one clip of the CNN... No, not CNN. It was like the Fox News guy being like, I violated China's laws, and then I was immediately punished. Surveillance?
Fox News anchor Brett Baier and his crew
This
were
one.
slapped with a traffic ticket in Beijing after cameras caught them parked illegally while filming a segment on China's mass surveillance system in the middle of a busy bike lane. The incident took place during Baier's special report broadcast for Fox.
Did they show
the
him talking?
After, which relied on the restricted area and the global telephone systems.
This doesn't show him talking about it. What the? Scammed. Where is it? Okay, I can't find it. But you guys, if you know what I'm talking about, please send it, because it was very funny. Maybe it was this one?
Fox News just learned something very big in Beijing. Just
Okay.
2 minutes. The ticket
whatever.
is pretty wild.
Okay, never mind. It's not in this video.
Overseas.
Smile, you're on camera. Maybe this one? Maybe this one? Come on, please. Okay, no, I can't find it. That's okay. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Only be casing houses.
It is her. It is 100%. It is locked in. There is zero doubt. I wouldn't have come here.
Wait, you found a video of it? No way. Wait, hold up.
Our driver parked illegally for 2 minutes, and he got a message on his phone that he got a ticket for about $40 US because they saw it on the camera. Now, there are real questions what the CCP's goal is about citizen tracking and social scoring. They say it's to make everybody feel safe. These cameras are watching every minute. They're everywhere. And while they're watching us here in China, we hope you continue to watch. Special report from Beijing.
It's literally the on me park meme. In China, if you park illegally, you will get a ticket in 2 minutes. In the United States, if you don't steal a package, the cops will show up at your door insisting that you stole a package from fake AI footage.
Unless I was 100% sure. 100%. It is certain. It is on video. You're obviously welcome to go to court.
Chrisana was charged with stealing a package, but it wasn't her. The porch pirate was somebody else.
Multiple times you tried to show him your video evidence. He didn't want to see it.
No, even when I called him back, he said, that's not my job.
You looked at the time of a crime. You saw my vehicle entering in the flock.
No, what I did
Right
was,
at the
I did
entrance
an
to the bar.
investigation.
You called my wife a liar. You saying this is fact.
I have video evidence. I don't know what you want me to say.
The charges were dropped after Chrisana spent weeks trying to get the police chief to look at her evidence. Time-stamped video from her truck and a neighbor's doorbell camera showing she wasn't at the scene of the crime.
What does it say about where we are that you feel you have to have more cameras than the police have in order to make sure you can prove yourself innocent?
It sounds like it flipped the script to you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
Without a flock camera, that detective would not have been at her door. By his own admission, he pulled out the flocked picture of her car. Do you want to apologize to Chrisanna Elzer for what happened to her?
For the police misusing the tools? I don't think that I have to apologize.
This is flock safety guy, Josh Thomas. Well, I don't think I need to apologize because the cops are idiots. I just wanted to give them all the information and give them the power to do whatever they want, whenever they want, and then say like, well, I don't know, I'm mama.
He wasn't charged with a crime. He wasn't, I mean, other than being reprimanded for his attitude.
Sure. No, but I would tell you that, like, should I apologize for somebody misusing a tool? I don't think so.
Flock Safety Chief Communications Officer Josh Thomas.
Who's watching the watchers in these cases?
Well, the city council. The city owns the data, so city council would have the appropriate responsibility in that case. Our point of view has always been that it is not Flock's job to police the way police do their work.
No, we just want them to have access to hundreds of thousands of cameras and constant footage on you. Oh, okay. Should I apologize for the military misusing my missiles, Raytheon? The cigar in your YouTube video was stupid huge. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Excellent. Good. That's good. That's good. I think the only thing crazier... Well, I don't know if it's crazier. But I think the only thing on this level of crazy, when it comes to, like, being recorded without your knowledge, is the fucking Mr. Beast video. It's, dude, every Mr. Beast video is like, every time Mr. Beast is talking candidly, it's like the most sociopath behavior you've ever seen in your fucking life. Like, he'll describe situations and he'll be like, and this is why I'm a boss baby. All right, this is why I'm fucking epic as shit and you're a loser. And it's like him describing the craziest thing you've ever heard.
Who noticed that?
Well, me. And the thing is, I this is an old team in festivals. I would tell him, like, there's too many broken bars when I go into Walmart.
He's talking about the Mr. Beast chocolate bars. That there were too many Mr. Beast chocolate bars that were broken in like Walmart or whatever.
I'm seeing too many that are broken. They told me like, you're worrying about this too much. It's not that big of an issue. It happens to everyone. And I got to the point where it was just fucking pissing me off because I hated like grabbing a bar off the ground or seeing on the shelf all these like shattered chocolate bars that I put like I paid people to put GoPros in like a bag of Lay's chips pointed at, because I tried to get Walmart to give me the security camera footage and they wouldn't. So I put hidden GoPros in a bunch of random Walmarts just to point it at the festival bars just to see why are they fucking breaking so much. There's so many shots of like, like a mom grabbing a bar and then she'd be looking at it literally like this. And then you just see the box just go, and she'd go, and it would just fall off the shelf. And then they just put it up and some of the bars would be broken. And it would just happen over and over and over again because we didn't engineer the boxes correctly. They didn't do anything wrong.
Do you know how atypical that is, what you've just said? That you put GoPros.
Yeah, people told me I was crazy. The amount of people who tried to tell me that was illegal, I was like, bro, I don't fucking care.
Does he hear himself when he's speaking sometimes? What do you mean you're going to say, the amount of people that tried to tell me that it was illegal, and I said, I don't fucking care.
Just need to know when my bars are breaking. Like, I'll delete the footage. And so I did a bunch of just data, and so there's a company called Acosta where you can pay people to go into Walmart. So then I started paying where every week I would send someone into every single Walmart in America to buy all the broken bars.
Okay. All right, man. Oh my God, dude. I like how instead of trial testing, like, it probably would have been cheaper instead of putting a bunch of fucking GoPro cameras in a bunch of grocery stores and doing something illegal. It probably would have been cheaper to just like put the chocolate bars in like a test setting and have people, pretend to go shopping in a pretend grocery store. Like, he could have just done that in any one of his fucking videos where he has people like run around a grocery store or whatever. All right. Nathan Fielder style. I mean, he has the money to do that. All right. I've been spending a lot of time reprogramming my 8-year-old who just loves Mr. Beast. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Also, what you do is you hire someone with industry knowledge. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I like the idea that, like, the problem with the bars is that the chocolate bars is that they were broken and not that they tasted like trash. I like that that's the takeaway. It's like, the bars keep breaking. That must be why nobody wants to buy my garbage. No. I will tell you, chocolate that's good, I don't care if it's fucking broken into 10,000 pieces. I'm still gonna buy it if it's the last bar, man. I have to say, I'm like a sucker for the lint. And I swear to God, please, I don't want to hear about how this company has like 10 different human rights violations, okay? Okay, every company, please, let me have this one thing, please. It's like the toffee salted one. I think it's this one. This. Dude, there's no chocolate that gets close to this for me. And I've had like gourmet chocolate. And it's still, this shit is like, oh man. Oh man, it's so good. I'm not a dark chocolate girly. No, I'm sorry. I'm not. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I went to the store and they had one of these and there was only one left and it was broken in like 4 different places, I'd be like, well, whatever. It's still closed, right? Okay. Sure. Care. I'm going to break it anyways when I want to eat it, so. You're going to boomer your brain with lead. I don't know how to tell you guys this. All chocolate has lead in it. Okay. I'm sorry to tell you. And it's got like, I think the really bad thing about chocolate is that it's got cadmium in it. It has to do with like the soil that chocolate or like cocoa beans grow on. It's about like how much you're having. Actually, the easiest way to consume less of it is to have less dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is like the worst. Because there's so much more of the cacao. Where is it? Hold up. Why is this article in French? I'm not reading a French article. Be reasonable. Yeah. Lead and cadmium could be in your dark chocolate. And some of them have less than others, but it has to do with the fact that the like heavy metals are just, they're in the soil that the cacao beans are grown in. Even if you aren't a frequent consumer of chocolate, lead and cadmium may still be a concern. It can be found in many other foods, such as sweet potatoes, spinach, carrots, and small amounts from multiple sources can add up. So yeah. Safest choices are these ones. High in cadmium. But again, it's also, it's the dark chocolate that's the particularly dangerous one. Because you're just getting a higher percentage of cacao. And the cacao has the lead and the cadmium in it. So, sorry to tell you guys. Sorry to be the one to let you guys know about that. Also, coffee. Also, coffee. Yeah. But milk chocolate is like mostly like milk and sugar. So if you're having like 70% and up on like dark chocolate, yeah, you might be a little bit fucked. I'm sorry, I'm going to be honest with you. But if you take the broken chocolate, then the lint chocolatier watching on the GoPro will get the wrong idea. Oh, stop. All right. I mean, listen, unless you're like John Chocolate and you're eating like 500 pounds of chocolate a day, it's just not that big of a concern. Like, it's about how much you're having. You guys understand? You know what I mean? The quantity that makes the poison or whatever. The poison is the dose or whatever. So unless you're literally John Chocolate, like, you're fine. Like, I feel like I have chocolate like maybe once a month I have chocolate. Not Red Bull. That's 38 grams of sugar and B12. Huh? I'll have you know I have sugar-free Red Bulls exclusively. Excuse you. I'm gonna be honest, the sugar might kill you before the lead. Oh, okay, my bad. Oh, my bad. The dose makes the poison. All right, well, yeah, you guys know what I mean. Enough of this. Enough of this. I got through the flock camera that I wanted to talk about. Moving on from that, let's talk about... Oh, man. Where to start? Where to start? There's so many...
Damn, what's up, bro?
Dude, I didn't ask you. I gotta mute this. Hold up. Mute site. How do I mute this? This isn't an option? Really? You can't mute websites on Firefox? I can see you can mute a tab, but you can't mute websites? So if I mute... Sorry, I see a lot of people not understanding maybe, but maybe they are understanding. You're making out... Stop playing every video. Please. Please, Firefox. So for example... Not this. Not this either. Oh, I wanted to talk about this. For example, if I muted this tab, would all Twitter tabs be muted from here on out? Like, would this tab also be muted by default? Okay, well, that's what I was saying. You can't mute websites. Why? Gotta add an extension for it? Why would you need that? Why wouldn't I need that? Hello? Why do you want to? Because I usually have 40 Twitter tabs open and I don't want all of them to play audio randomly. Hello? Next question. You know, the worst is when Amazon, the best feature on Chrome is being able to mute the website Amazon. I don't know why, but like Amazon listing videos always have like the volume set to 500 decibels. You're like clicking through like the photos for an item for like some squeegee or something, and you're like, and then it's like, it's a video of them showing it off, and it's like, in the background, and it's like, dude, I've lost my hearing. Thank you so much. I have Amazon perma muted. Thank fucking God. And you can't do that here? What the hell? That's kind of annoying. Right click mute tab. Yeah, but then I would have to do that for every tab. You understand? I would like to mute the website by default. Do you understand? All right. Use an add-on. I love this advice. It's like someone being like, I feel like I'm ugly. And then me being like, you should just be less ugly, stupid. Get items that make you less ugly. Next question. It's like, I was hoping for something a little bit more specific. Maybe something just like a smidge. More specific. Ooh. Mute website like Chrome. See, thank you. Magnets. Thank you for this. Add to Firefox. Add. Do I need to specifically? Ooh, thank you. Perfect. All right, I think it worked. Oh my God, no way. Thank you. God bless. Sorry, I don't like Twitter by default having being able to play videos and blast me. All right, moving on from this. No, not this one, but I did want to show you guys this in a second. This I just wanted to put on the screen for a sec. Now, I'm curious. So there's a fun little thing that I would do on Chrome where I have the volume master overrides the mute site. I wonder if it'll work on Firefox, but I don't think it will. It doesn't work on Firefox. Can I... Okay, unmuting singular tabs works. That's kind of annoying, but whatever.
By the Islamic Republic of Japan. They were shot at the aircraft carrier. I told this story yesterday, we had 111 missiles shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan.
Oh, God, dude. Oh, God. Autoplay settings. I don't know how to... I'll do this later, I guess. Sorry, I'm a little bit scarred because like the last time I added a bunch of stuff to Firefox, for some reason Firefox, without my permission, reset all of my settings. I don't understand why. It removed all of my history, all of my settings, all of my extensions, and all of my and then signed me out of everything. It was like, oh, here you go. Here's brand. It's like you just installed Firefox. I was like, why the fuck did that just happen? So now I'm like stressed because I'm like, fuck, I gotta like, I'm gonna install all this stuff. Like I'm like traumatized. I'm like, I have to reinstall all this stuff and then it's gonna fucking do this to me again. I've never had that happen. Yeah, I already had tech support with chat. They were like, you had the setting that makes you explode your computer. Check. And I checked it and I was like, it's off. And they're like, I don't know why the fuck that happened to you actually. So, yeah. All right, let's close this. Firefox. Oh, so you want me to be more like your ex? Yes, actually, Firefox. Yes. Okay. Let's close this and this. I like how half the extensions on or like all the extensions I download on Firefox are just to make Firefox more like Chrome. Low key, I'm kind of giving Bear from Obsession. Just be like Nikki. Why? Why can't you just be like Nikki? Just be like the real Nikki. Why can't you just be like Chrome? Firefox, please. Why? And Firefox is like, okay, I'll try. I'll try to be like Firefox. I'll try. Or sorry, I'll try to be like Chrome. All right. No, I'm closing this stuff. Closing. All right. Here we go. So I guess I'll just like, probably the best place to start is the Graham Platner allegations or accusations. Not allegations. Let me see if I can find the original one. I think it was the Politico one that particularly took off. Like a couple days ago. I want to say like 1 or 2 days ago. Yeah, it was this one. Woman who dated Graham Platner says he sexually assaulted her. The Maine Democrat denied the allegations and said any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically untrue. The woman who dated a Maine U.S. Senate candidate, Graham Platner, says that he forced her to have sex with him nearly 5 years ago, despite her repeated objections and allegation. Platner denies. The woman, a 41-year-old Maine resident named Jenny, I think it's Rascott, but I might be mistaken, detailed the alleged incident to Politico in 3 interviews over the past 2 weeks. Politico also spoke with a man Rascott dated and confided in the years after the alleged incident and reviewed documents, including emails between them and her therapist and messages between Rascott and an acquaintance whom she warned against getting involved with Platner years before. Oh, is Rasco? Okay, I apologize. Years before he ran for office. She said that she had an on and off relationship with Platner, who is now the Democratic Senate nominee in Maine for more than 2 years before he entered her rural Maine home uninvited one night in late 2021, deeply intoxicated, and forced himself onto her while she repeatedly told him to stop. She said she cut off contact with him after telling him the encounter was not consensual. I remember him grabbing my pelvis and being very forceful of me. I remember the specific moment where I thought to myself, this is no longer my choice. Platner denied the allegations. These allegations are troubling, serious, and false. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically untrue. She previously described reckless and unsettling behavior by Platner to the New York Times, which said she didn't want to go public with the specific assault claim because she didn't want to be known as a rape victim. Wow, shocking. It's almost like it's the same thing that people have said for years, which is most victims do not want to come forward because then when you come forward, you are only known as the rape victim or the sexual assault victim forever. Then, where were we? Sorry, I know this is not important, but like, my eyes are hurting from the fucking bright text. I'm just gonna try and put this on dark reader really quickly. I'm like actually like wincing. Let me just add this really quick. Much better. Sorry. All right. Roscoe said she felt compelled to go public about her experience because the reaction to the Times story was dominated by controversy about another woman, Fifield, who alleged Platner mistreated her and faced attacks because of her ties to the Republican Party. And I gotta say, man, we're gonna get to all of it really fast. We're gonna get to all of it soon. But something I did not like about general coverage of Platner was that when the first set of allegations about Platner came out, the number of leftists that came out and said, this is just a smear campaign and we shouldn't give it the time of day was insane. Like, I felt like I was, the one friend that's too woke. That's how I felt. Let me pull it up. Here it is. This is from the article that I was posting. The woker, if you will. I mean, we'll get to this in a moment, but this part. In the article, Fifield alleged that Platner frequently grabbed her by the shoulders and once yanked her out of a taxi by her wrist. The article continued during one argument she recalled, he twisted her arm behind her back, shoved her into a bedroom, held the door closed from the other side so she couldn't get out, telling her to remain there until she was calm. And I'm going to be honest, I saw so many people say this and were like, okay, so like he told her to be calm. Like, that's really not that big of a deal. And I'm like, you're going to ignore all of the context. You're going to just ignore the only thing in here that I think like maybe I can understand different contexts would play out differently, where he yanked her out of the taxi by her wrist. I can understand that one, maybe. I can understand situations where maybe that one ended up being, because like, I don't know about you guys, anyone here who's had physical contact with other human beings ever, maybe my wrists are just particularly dainty, although I don't think so. Sometimes you can grab other people's wrists and they can grab your wrists. And it's still like, owie, wait. Wait, can you be a little bit softer? That kind of hurt. Ow. Your wrists are just kind of like, if you're not fucking jacked, your wrists can just kind of hurt more than normal for like whatever. So like I'm like, okay, I understand. Like that one is fine. That one's like I don't care about that one. The other two are like insane. Frequently grabbed her by the shoulders. I think it's that like a lot of people haven't read into or know a lot about like physical abuse or domestic abuse. And people who've dealt with domestic abuse will tell you that holding is and like forcefully grabbing someone is the step before physically hurting someone. Whether that's strangling someone or punching them or slapping them. Restraining is right before that. And a friend of mine who went through domestic abuse talked to me about her experience. But you can also look into this besides one anecdote I'm going to share. And she was talking about how, like, it's very easy in the moment to think, like, oh, this is fine. Like, they're not, like, hurting me or they're not trying to hurt me or whatever. But that can escalate so quickly. And if you look at the instances where people have strangled their partners or people have strangled people that they've been with romantically or sexually, it's been months of lead up with physically restraining. And the fact that so many people wrote off, like, because this is a violation of one person's consent, right? To physically restrain someone else. Like, you're violating their consent and telling them, I don't care what you want. I'm going to get what I want by physically dominating you. And it's like, really, that person wouldn't... You guys don't think that there's anything suspicious about that person? There's nothing suspicious about that character? All right. Okay, man. All right. Okay. And then I wanted to continue this stuff. One time I called the hotline because I was trying to explain away an instance of abuse like that, and she changed my life when the woman on the other end told me one time is still one time too many. Yeah. Platner also said that he would rape anyone who would break into his home. It's like, all right. Yeah, the full story is like insane. Anyways, moving on from that point. The reason why everyone wrote that off was because they were like, well, how do we know that Fifield isn't lying and making all this stuff up? How do we know that? And it's like, if she was going to lie, why wouldn't she just lie about him assaulting her? Like, I don't understand. Why would she lie about what? Fifield further recalled Platner would sharpen an axe while watching TV and left an AR-15 lying around in his Washington apartment. She said he described women as hatchet wounds, a crude reference to female anatomy, and repeatedly asserted if anyone broke in here, I would rape them, adding that this would not be in a sexual... This would not be in a sexual way, not in a gay way. Fifield told the paper he was like, I would rape them to show them I'm dominant. What? The military guy who described his time at war as the most fun ever and that he loved combat and it was the best time of his life. That guy? That guy would say these things? No. No, dude. No. Exactly. The claims were way more mild than they could have been. She would have gone harder if she was just going to make stuff up anyways. It's just like... But like no one was willing to listen to any of these arguments because he was like people's golden boy for a period of time. So anytime you try and talk about this, it's like, oh, so you're just going to trust anyone? It's like, I'm just saying, if you just are at the point of where she's clearly making all this stuff up, why wouldn't she make up something more insane than that? Huh? Okay. All right, I guess. Yeah, sure. People would call you a lib if you brought up any criticism. Jesus. All right. Continuing here. Roscoe said she later felt compelled to go public about her experience because the reaction to the Times story was dominated by controversy about another woman. Fifield, who alleged Platner mistreated her and faced attacks because of her ties to the Republican Party. My part of the story was just a read over, and the story was Lindsay and the accusations of her being politically motivated. Roscoe said she was torn over coming forward in part because she agrees with Platner politically. One of the reasons they didn't come forward sooner was the huge moral conflict that I had between supporting his politics but not supporting him as a person. I just want the truth out there. I just want people to have a whole scope of who he is as a person. All right. And then I'll show you guys. The Iraq and Afghanistan war veteran has linked some of his behavior to mental health struggles and alcohol abuse. But he says he's changed and has denied previous claims that he was abusive to women. Roscoe told Politico that she connected with Platner on the dating app Bumble in 2019 and had consensual relations with him prior to the night he allegedly assaulted her. That night in late 2021, she said that he had exchanged text messages with him and told him not to come over, saying she wasn't in the mood for company. Later that evening, she said she realized when she heard a sound on the stairs that he had let himself into her house, which was unlocked. Platner came up the stairs to where she was on a couch. He got on top of her and started grabbing her while she repeatedly told him to stop and she wasn't interested. She said that she smelled alcohol in his breath and believed that he was almost blackout drunk because Platner ignored her protest and continued to grab her after knocking over an antique sewing kit, spilling small needles everywhere. I'd been telling him these words like, no, don't, she recalled. And the look on his face and realizing what was happening, I just realized that, like, I'm in a situation where there's no consent here. She tried to separate herself from Platner by telling him she couldn't be in the room anymore, after which he followed her to the bedroom and had sex with her against her will. Okay, just write it how it is and say, thank you for not watching the Jake Tapper video. I can't, dude. She said he also ejaculated inside of her despite her telling him not to do so. She wasn't using birth control at the time. She went to clean up and she said when she returned, he had fallen asleep. She contemplated waking him up to kick him out, was worried he could hurt someone driving in the state that he was in. Following morning, she said he tried to put his arm around her and she pushed him away. She said she asked him whether he remembered what happened. And according to her, Platner said that he didn't remember. She told him to leave and never contact her again. She said she waited several weeks until she got her period to ensure she wasn't pregnant and sent Platner a private message on Instagram saying that the encounter was not consensual and that she did not want to hear from him ever again. She had no further contact with him after that, she said. And Roscoe said she later deleted all her text and social media correspondence with Platner as she tried to move on from the assault, and said she has not been able to recover the Instagram messages she sent him about the incident. In the weeks after the alleged assault, she said that she considered going to the police but struggled with the shock and confusion about what had happened to her and didn't file a police report. Even as time passed, she said she felt uncomfortable potentially telling a police officer about such a personal experience and feared retaliation from Platner. At first, she confided only in her therapist, who she continues to see. I'm 99% sure, by the way, that the Reddit comment was about this specific assault. Yeah. By the way, the other thing that was fucking insane was that Platner had like a Reddit account where he had like talked candidly about all of the things that all of his opinions, and then he deleted his account, but a lot of the comments are still up there. And the shit that he said was insane. Like, he said that sexual assault victims are just like regret victims, and corroborated like half this shit. She showed Politico recent emails with her therapist in which Roscoe explained she was talking about the media about her relationship with Platner and the sexual assault/rape using an abbreviation for sex. Okay. In the message, she was not ready to go public and was seeking help corroborating her account and conversations she was having with reporters on condition of anonymity. Her therapist responded that Roscoe shouldn't have to speak publicly about a traumatic incident in order to be believed without referencing details of any particular incident. The therapist, who Politico agreed not to name in her request, declined to comment when reached on Monday. She also shared details about the alleged assault to the man she dated after Platner, who she began seeing in 2022. The man who was granted anonymity out of concern for his privacy told Politico that Roscoe had told him bits and pieces about a bad experience with Platner before confiding the full details of what happened in 2023. His account of what Roscoe told him about the incident matched with what she said to Politico. She shared with Politico a series of private Facebook messages she exchanged with an acquaintance in 2023, about a year and a half after the assault, and well before Platner launched his political career, in which she cautioned the acquaintance against getting involved with Platner. In the messages, she said she had ended up in a bad situation with him, describing him as consensually careless and saying he doesn't listen to you when drunk. Reached by Politico, the acquaintance said she received the message but declined to comment. And it's these text messages saying it's her telling this other person that's thinking about being with Platner long before his political campaign. I saw your post about oysters the other day. I feel morally obligated to warn you if you were anything more than just friends with Graham, but if you're not, then I'll shut up for now and give you the scoop sometime. LOL. Just friends, would love the scoop though. Is he still engaged? I was working on fixing up a friend. Oh, I have an idea with who. Oh, girl, I think her name is, and this is, I guess, some of the screenshots. I assume maybe they post some more of them later. The friend to whom Politico granted anonymity due to fear of social and professional backlash recalled Rascott telling her about the incident, including that Platner had been very drunk and wouldn't take no for an answer. Oh, there's a button to the right of the screenshot. Oh, okay, sorry. I'm like a fucking boomer. There are more screenshots here. Okay, and then they're just talking about the timeline. Okay, and then here it is. What's his deal? Should I not fix up my friend assuming he's single? And she says, he can be charming and funny and he's a decently intelligent person. He's not all bad, but I ended up in a bad situation with him and I will very politely call him consensually careless at times. When drunk plus PTSD. I knew about the PTSD. He lies also. And then the other person says, forces himself on people? ? And she said, one thing that grossed me out after him and I had dated was that I saw his profile on OkCupid, and that site asks a lot of questions. And one of the questions was, if your partner told you they had over 100 sexual partners, what would your response be? And his response was, that's not that many. So that super grossed me out, thinking he's probably slept with a ton of people, doesn't listen to you when drunk, ... This person reacted with a downvote. Sorry, I wanted to read. I'm not looking at chat. Let me look at chat one sec. Hold up. All right. You basically have to admit being a victim for people to give a fuck. Nobody wants to be seen or think of themselves as a victim. It's a horrible situation. Well, the problem is that even if you give up anonymity and you become known as a rape victim, people still won't believe you, but you still have to carry this burden everywhere you go. The friend to whom Politico granted anonymity due to fear of social and professional backlash. Okay, and then, yeah, they corroborated this. Like, this is pretty... Like, what is the justification for these messages? Well, she must have known secretly that he was going to be running for Senate in 2026. And so she started planting the seeds that he was a rapist to other people. Like, what? And like, huh? All right. I am scared too, but eventually we're going to look at some of the coverage of some other people. Mental gymnastics people to do to pretend like all of this is orchestrated. It's like, guys, I'm sorry. Like, let me pull up the articles talking about his Reddit post. This is not the play, man. One sec. Devil's advocate would say that she was just jealous and trying to sabotage future relationships. If she was trying to do that, she wouldn't set herself up as like a rape victim. The way that people sabotage relationships is by saying that the other person's a cheater. That's like, that would be like, I'm sorry, like that's an insane direction to take it. All right. Let me close this. All right. Sorry, I was reading chat messages. Let me pull this up. Was it this one? The one about him talking about I can't find it. Oh, here it is. I think it's this one. Is it this one? Oh, my ads. Oh, my fucking ads. Holy shit. Why is the camera so big? That's better. Where were we at? On December 27th, 2015, Platner posted on Reddit, 4 tours as an infantryman in the Marines and then Army, did both Iraq and Afghanistan. It's hard to explain how much I enjoyed combat. It is both physically and intellectually challenging and incredibly exciting, especially the first few times. I was never a huge fan of killing, at least not for killing's sake, but I did love winning and that required killing. Combat was a really fulfilling experience. It's hard to explain how much I loved combat. Enjoyed combat. War was the most enjoyable experience of my life. In a January 2nd, 2020 post on Reddit, I guess it was a thread titled, "Why did you enlist in the Marines?" And Platner posted, "I just wanted to have an adventure and kill some people." I can't believe that guy would violate someone's consent. By the way, was this the first time I heard all this? Well, because, and this is, I want to read my post that I wrote because I spent a lot of time writing it to try and explain all of my positions to the best of my ability. Anytime anyone would try and talk about any of these issues and be like, hey guys, this doesn't really seem like someone who values like people's lives. I don't know. He doesn't seem to give a single shit about all of the brown and black people that, well, I guess mostly brown people in any of these Middle Eastern countries. He didn't seem to give a shit or value any of their lives. I don't know, man. This guy doesn't seem like... And then we have this one reporting of this guy basically violating this woman's consent by physically grabbing her, restraining her, putting her arm behind her back. I don't know, man. And talking to her and telling her how he would rape someone in dominance. I don't know, man. Maybe this is someone we should be a little bit more skeptical about. And then he has a fucking giant Nazi tattoo. And it's like, I don't know, man. Maybe we should be just like a little bit more skeptical of this. Just like a little. And everyone just ignored it because they were like, well, these must all just be smears. And I will say there were a couple of voices that actually did critically comment on these things and say that doesn't change his policies or doesn't change his political values or whatever. And those people, I don't have any like disdain for those people. I mean, they're just trying to like push for leftism in, I think, a misguided way. But the people who immediately wrote it all off as a smear campaign, I fucking can't, dude. I can't, man. I wrote this. I tried to put all my words or my thoughts into words. I plan to talk about it more on stream, but I really am grateful we have so many voices in leftist spaces that rang the alarm bells on the candidate with the Nazi tattoo that thought war was the most enjoyable experience of my life, quote, and told women that he would rape an intruder to establish dominance. Don't get me wrong. I understand why so many leftists insisted that his current political messaging and anti-genocide / anti-APAC stance should be more valuable than a few statements that were made in the past. I don't take issue with those who genuinely listen to the criticism on the left and believe that his previous comments were some edgy attempt at comedy, but that he was a changed person today. I do not and cannot understand, though, why so many self-proclaimed leftists took any negative reporting about Platner and immediately insisted that it had to be a smear campaign. It was so depressing to see so many people I respect engage in this behavior. I don't want anyone to read this tweet and think that we need to lambast every leftist who made a mistake. I'd just rather be productive and have something good come from all of this. I hope the people who were quick to write off any anti-Platner coverage use this as an opportunity to be a bit more cautious in the future when thinking whether or not to endorse someone that people of color and women of color are actively warning people about. Because, like, I'm going to be honest, I don't really get off on, like, and then we got to lambast this guy, and then we got to lambast this guy, and also this guy, and also this guy. I just don't care. Like, I think what I ended up doing was, like, I literally refused to watch Graham Platner coverage. Like, I was like, I can't. I'm not watching the majority report talk about Graham Platner. I'm not going to watch Kyle talk about Graham Platner. I didn't even want to watch Hassan talk about Graham Platner. I didn't want to watch anyone talk about Graham Platner. I was just like, I can't. Like, I'm sorry, man. Which I think what I said the one time I talked about it was, thank God I don't fucking live in Maine. Because I still think those are good leftist voices that use their platforms for good the vast majority of the time. But I'm like, still disappointed. I had no interest in hearing about Platner. Yeah. And by the way, being wrong about the issue, being wrong wasn't the issue. It was ignoring and slandering naysayers. Well, yeah, because I think, like, let me say two things. One, I think that there were a lot of people who didn't know all of the details of this stuff, that didn't know all the details about what he was being accused of and what he had said about his service and what women had said about him. I think a lot of people didn't know that any of this stuff was even, like, it was very difficult to find any sources on this information, by the way. I looked pretty hard to get it, and then I confirmed it. And it was very difficult to find. There's one video of him apologizing about previous Reddit comments that he had made, which confirmed that there is a Reddit account that has been deleted. And he did say, he said that he apologized for certain statements. And it was like, one of the statements was like him not respecting like veterans or something because he was being edgy about it or some stupid shit. But then that was him basically confirming that was in fact his account, but that account had like 400 other heinous things on it. There's one of the statements that he had made on Reddit was like him saying that like sexual assault victims just decide after the fact that it was rape. And so like, it wasn't just the Nazi tattoo. It was all of this shit combined. It's like, dude, like this is a bomb waiting to go off, man. Like, all of these things point to one clear root cause, which is guy who believes in hierarchical structures, but thinks that he should be at the top of the hierarchical structure. All of those things make sense within that. So I'm like, I don't know, man. Obsessed with power? Well, yeah, I think another thing too, just in case people don't know, sexual assault and like rape is not about sexual desire. It's about dominance and control and power. Which is why when he, like, it lines up perfect, what she said lines up perfectly with what perpetrators of that crime do, which is, I wouldn't rape him in like a sexual way or in a gay way. I would rape him for dominance, which is accurate. That is why sexual abusers do what they do. Because maybe they don't have dominance in other places of their life, so they take it out on people that are weaker than them. He even said it like you really can't get any clearer than that. And then he repeats it again with all these other things where he's talking about like his time in combat, right? It wasn't just the Nazi tattoo, it was that the Nazi tattoo fit in with everything else. Exactly. What was I was going to say something else. Bingo on the hierarchical structures. I mean, and it was just like infuriating to see people just like, and I really don't fault people who didn't know about all this stuff. And I don't fault people who thought that his political messaging was too valuable. I take issue with the people that immediately saw anything negative about Platner and were like, we can just ignore that. That's all smear campaigns, everything. It's gotta be smear campaigns. It's like, you're not even gonna read it. You're not gonna like take it with a grain of salt. You're really? Not sure why people keep trying to smear Hassan about Platner. Hassan was pretty open about stating that the reason he liked Platner was for his policy position, but his ability to message those positions to Trump supporters. He never stated that Platner's past was an issue. Well, yeah, and again, what I'm saying is, it made me mad to see people be like, yeah, everything in the past, he's changed. He's a changed person. It's like, dude, there are certain things that are hard to ignore. Fundamentally believing in hierarchical structures, you're not changing that overnight, man. Like, I don't know. And it's funny too, because even in his like final like messaging, his video talking about dropping out, he's still giving the middle finger to Democrats and to his voters. He's saying, well, I'm not, if you're not going to have me there, if I don't get to be at the top, well, I hope we don't fucking win. I hope we don't flip the House. Or sorry, the Senate. And it's like, oh, okay. So you're just admitting that that's who you are. Okay, great. Hassan was not working with his campaign. I don't think I saw Hassan working with his campaign. You guys can link me if I'm mistaken or something. The thing that I don't like about, let me see if I can pull it up before I comment. One sec. The most annoying thing so far is that has been coming out of like the Hassan did this, Hassan personally did this, is it's the same exact people that, sorry, this is Aura, I want to show you guys this, who said that everything Hassan did was in fact not an endorsement of Kamala. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to you if you're a fucking bad faith actor on this. And you're just, if your account is just dedicated to smearing Hassan, and he did more for Kamala than he ever did for Platner, but that wasn't endorsing Kamala, but this is endorsing Platner, you're a bad faith actor and your opinion is worthless. Congrats. Oh man, I can't. I thought I saved the post, but maybe I didn't save it. I might not have saved it. Oh wait, is it here? No, it's not this one. Maybe it's in the replies or something? Like I said, it's always the exact same voices right now that are going after Hassan on this. Like, girl with the microphone, notable for her. Does she not know that public opinion does not equal court of public opinion does not equal actual court? How many of y'all gave to Platner because Hassan told you to do so? I've never asked anyone to donate to Platner, nor have I campaigned with him. LMAO, what the fuck is this hallucination? And then this community note kept going up and down and up and down and up and down. Because it doesn't disprove what he said. Hassan here saying, I didn't ask people to donate and I didn't campaign with him. And the context is, he publicly endorsed him as Team Platner and his go and defended him on stream. None of these things are saying, amplified his campaign, launch video sources confirm he backed the campaign before reversing. None of these things say that he donated or campaigned with him. What? He didn't argue that he didn't say those things. What? Also, these are the exact same people, by the way, who are saying he never endorsed Kamala Harris. It's like, okay, so he did more for Kamala Harris, but he never endorsed Kamala Harris, and he's the reason we have Trump. Hassan personally caused Trump, but also he personally endorsed Platner. Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. I think some people are mixing up Hassan saying veterans can be redeemed when Platner comes up. He uses Platner as a jumping pad for the veteran combo. I don't even think he's talking about that. I think we're talking about a separate conversation. Why does the camera... I think the camera's like falling. Stop. Hassan also calls Fox News his goat. Like, that's not an endorsement. He calls Candace Owens his goat. Like, what? That's amazing. I mean, again, it's like bad faith actors, man. And yeah, this. Okay, so I wanted to show this. This has been, and again, it's like, I hope I'm explaining the position to the best of my ability. It's just like the people who wrote it off, I understand critical support. I understand that, saying, hey, this is not stuff that we should necessarily hand wave, and we should keep a close eye on someone like this. And people ringing the alarm bells are not wrong to do that. I don't understand people being like, well, yeah, how do we know that this isn't just a massive smear job, huh? We'll talk about this next. Thank you for linking this. Mackie, yeah. Hassan endorsed Janet Mills more than Platner, yeah. All right, and then yeah, like, if anything, you guys know who I'm the most depressed by? Kyle Klensky. Because I know Ryan Grimm made some horrible comments. I'm, like, trying to pull them up. And low-key, I didn't appreciate the way that, like, Dropsite smeared Abu Ghazali. Low-key. That was a crazy play by them. And I still kind of I do not forgive that. Because, like, the fact that they instead of, like, reaching out to a progressive candidate and saying, hey, like, you need to drop this staffer that's super giga conservative, they did, like, a hit piece on her, and it's like, and that's when I stopped. That's when I fell out of love with Dropsite. I was like, because I had no issue with Ryan Grimm and Dropsite doing a story on her comments about Taiwan. I did have an issue with them blasting that a staffer that she had like conservative tweets up instead of reaching out to her and being like, hey, we're trying to get progressive candidates to win. You need to drop, I don't know where the fuck you got this staffer. You need to drop them immediately. Like, it was just so, like, insane to me. I was like, are you fucking serious? And that's when I was like, I'm good. I'm good on Ryan Grimm. I'm good on Ryan Grimm now. I'm good, actually. Yeah, no, I'm good on that. And now this, I'm like, wait, okay, so they made another tweet. Hold up. I have too many tabs open. One sec.
And he...
Ryan Grimm is a rapist apologist covering for his friend Platner. Yes, I know he's questioning the reporting. He's lying by using his critique as cover to defend Platner. He even suggests Platner was in fact invited in.
If you listen closely there, that she said, we were texting back and forth, and he took something that I said as an invitation to come over. This is,
Sorry,
they'd been dating off and on for about 2 years at this point. The follow-up from a normal person at that point is, what did you say? What'd you say? Right. Like, what was the thing that you said to him that he misunderstood? Now, let's take a look at how Politico reported
Oh, the 3-year-old baby misunderstood. Oh.
this. This is D8. This is how Politico first reported. So Razakot told Politico she connected with Platner on the dating app Bumble in 2019 and had consensual relations with him prior to the night he allegedly assaulted her. That night in late 2021, she said she had exchanged text messages with him and told him not to come over, saying she wasn't in the mood for company. Later that evening, she said she realized when she heard a sound on the stairs that he had let himself into her house, which was unlocked. Platner came up the stairs, Razakot said, to where she was on a couch. He got on top of her and kept grabbing her, she said, while she repeatedly told him to stop and that she wasn't interested. So, Sagar, you read that, and most people in Washington who read that, they're like, that sounds like he broke in to the house, like uninvited, and then began a violent assault of her. Nowhere does Politico mention what she mentioned to CNN there, that she had said something in the text message exchanges that he mistook as an invitation.
And yes, Politico did intentionally shoddy reporting, Grimm using that as an opportunity to call her story into question. Like, the rest of the video is even worse than this. Is it still up? There's no way that they haven't taken it down by now, right? I know it was like a full 8-minute video, but I didn't get a chance to like save it or whatever. There's no way they kept it up, right? That would be insane if it's still up. Oh, Lord, I think it's still up.
Joining us now is State Representative Dave Morales, who is a candidate for Providence mayor, and may be the next kind of DSA-backed mayor after New York and Seattle. Are there any others that we know of?
Well, we have to keep the movement going. As of right now, I think those are the prominent examples that we have of these.
Speaking. Stop. Speak when spoken to, Lloyd. I think it's this one. Maybe not. Sorry, I'm like trying to find it. Thank you so much for the link. I appreciate it. All right, let's listen.
A key detail from its reporting around the Graham Platner sexual assault allegations we have learned. Let's take a listen to how Jenny Razakot, the accuser of Graham Platner, described how the evening began in her interview with Jake Tapper on CNN.
It was a night where him and I were texting back and forth, and he had taken something that I said as an invitation, and that's not how he meant it, and I quickly clarified, and he sent a message back indicating that he would come over, and I said, no, don't come over. Like, I'm not in the mood, don't come over. And I was more stern with that message. And then I didn't hear back from him, so I thought that meant he got the message or gave up on it or whatnot.
Okay, Sagar, so there was no follow-up from Jake Tapper. If you listen closely there, she said, we were texting back and forth, and he took something that I said as an invitation to come over. This is, they've been dating off and on for about 2 years at this point. The follow-up from a normal person at that point is, what did you say? What'd you say? Right. Like, what was the thing that you said to to him that he misunderstood. Now let's take a look at how Politico reported this.
You guys know when I've said, like, there are leftists in this space, there are heinous sacks of shit in here. Not like in here. Actually, probably the least likely place to find them is someone who watches women. But there are some heinous sacks of shit, and I learned it very early. And I'm not talking about the people who go 0-10 in my fucking mid lane. I'm not talking about those guys, although those guys are definitely in here. I'm talking about the ones that are like, well, leftism needs to prevail no matter what. So who cares if some women got raped? Like, the first time I ran into one of these people, I was like, you're not real. Like, you're fucking with me. Like, you wouldn't say you're joking. Like, that's too fucking crazy. Like, that's too insane. Like, you have to be joking with me. And it's like, they're not joking. They're totally serious. It's like, hey, moron, if you believe in hierarchical systems, you cannot be a leftist. You fucking idiot. And once you start doing apologia, I know who you are. I know who you are. It just invalidates any criticism of Trump, Kavanaugh, Hegseth that any of these people have made for literally years. Yeah. Like, this is insane. Like, let's just look at, let's just keep watching. Did you change your opinion about Kyle? I hate it when I came here and see you playing a video of him. I am going to ban you because you type in a way that annoys me. But I already said in my post that I'm disappointed in a lot of leftists. I'm disappointed in Kyle Kulinski the most. I'm disappointed in the Majority Report. I'm really disappointed in Emma Vigeland. I'm disappointed in a lot of people. Because I felt like they just didn't take any of this stuff as seriously as they should have. And they were so eager to support Platner because they didn't want to come off as, like, I guess, like wreckers or whatever. It didn't feel like, they felt like they were uncritically supporting him. And it felt like anytime an accusation came up that they just described it as like a smear. And I was very disappointed in that. That doesn't mean that I think that, like, I think we should hate them forever and we should never watch them and we should always make sure that they're never allowed in any space. I would just like to see, I don't know, an apology for discarding brown and black voices and women's voices in the space. And I'd like to see an improvement going forward. That's what I want to see. Like, I'm just not of the opinion that, like, Majority Report did apologize. I did see that. And we'll talk about that. And I respect that she did that. But yeah. That's it. I don't know if that's too much to ask for. It's just the dismissive nature of the self-proclaimed leftists. That was really saddening. Like, I think we can listen to these criticisms and say, like, okay, I don't think that this meets the threshold for dropping a candidate. I don't think that meets the threshold. Like, I think that this candidate is the best progressive candidate in Maine. And blah, 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 blah. But that's not what, like, I saw so many videos of them being like, of so many of these people being like, another smear campaign by the right, another smear. And it's like, guys, like, what the fuck? Can we not do that? Can we just... I think there was also some cognitive dissonance in this happening at such a momentous time for their ideology. It's a difficult pill for people to swallow, not that it excuses it. Correct. All right, continuing. Let's watch this shit. However, the shit that I've seen of Ryan Grimm is, like, actually I'm pretty done with
This
Ryan Grim.
is D8. This is how Politico first reported. So Razacote told Politico she connected with Platner on the dating app Bumble in 2019 and had consensual relations with him prior to the night he allegedly assaulted her. That night in late 2021, she said she had exchanged text messages with him and told him not to come over, saying she wasn't in the mood for company. Later that evening, she said she realized when she heard a sound on the stairs that he had let himself into her house, which was unlocked. Platner came up the stairs, Razacote said, to where she was on a couch. He got on top of her and kept grabbing her, she said, while she repeatedly told him to stop and that she wasn't interested. So, Sagar, you read that, and most people in Washington who read that, they're like, that sounds like he broke in to the house, like uninvited, and then began a violent assault of her. Nowhere does Politico mention what she mentioned to CNN there, that she had said something in the text message exchanges that he mistook as an invitation. They just say, and elsewhere in the article, they say he was, quote, uninvited. It turns out, and we have learned, that Politico definitively, at the time of publication, knew precisely what Jenny had texted to Graham that he, according to her, mistook as an invitation to come over. And we know this because the Washington Post also interviewed Jenny Razacote. And Jenny told the Washington Post, because she's being honest. She's laying out all of the details, which is how it should be. You lay out all the details and then you let the readers, the public, the voters say, okay, here, we have all the different facts. Here's how we interpret this scenario. So good for her for being transparent.
I totally agree with you, and I want to say that up at the top. This is in no way an attack on her. This is about how I believe that the media has handled this story.
She was
truthful from the beginning
about this. She doesn't. She said she doesn't have the text messages anymore. Platner apparently doesn't have the text messages anymore. So we're going by her memory of what they are. And to her credit, she divulged the details of the text messages from that evening, and to the she divulged it to the Washington Post. The Washington Post.
Do you guys see what he's doing? He's literally trying to discredit her by saying, well, he must have mistook something. And now I'm going to ignore the part where she said explicitly, do not come over. I am not interested. Like, fuck you. Fuck you. You are scum. You are oh my God.
Reaches out to the Platner campaign for comment, good for the Washington Post. And in their request for comment, they mention that Jenny had been texting him talking about a massage earlier. And so the Platner campaign sees this, and they go back to Politico, and they say, apparently there's some more context here about like the back and forth. Like, do you know about these text messages? The reporter then exchanges messages with the Platner campaign. Those messages have been now circulating in Maine politics, in Maine political circles. I obtained a copy of those. I was able to authenticate them with sources with knowledge of them. And here is what the Politico reporter said to the campaign. Jenny Razacote had been, quote, texting Platner about needing her glute massaged. That detail didn't make our story. Glute massage. So within about a half an hour of getting this glute massage text, Platner is in the house. Now, she says she followed up. No, don't come. Because he texted back. So he's wasted, clearly. He gets this message. I need my glute massage. He comes over. He's texts back, I'm coming over. And she's like, wait, don't come over. She says, don't come over, don't come over. This is Maine. He's not taking the subway. Like, so he's drunkenly driving over there. Comes into
the reason Politico didn't cover that detail is because it's not a relevant detail when he was on top of her and she said, no, please stop. No, get off me. Stop. Do you understand how that's an unimportant detail?
The house. And then
Your Honor, she was talking about wanting a glute massage, so I legally had to rape her. Oh, obviously, yeah. Okay.
And then she says he's grabbing her on the couch. Where's
she's saying no?
Where's he grabbing her? Like, is he like immediately starting like the glute massage or whatever? Anyway, the Washington Post, to its credit, included a version of the detail. We could put up Washington Post at D7. One night in November or December 2021, she said she texted him to say that she could use a massage. She said she did not intend it as an invitation, but he interpreted it that way, immediately replying to say he would come right over. She said she wrote back twice, telling him not to. The Post was not able to review the alleged messages or independently verify them. Razacote said she later deleted them soon after the incident. So Post didn't include the glute part, but did mention the massage to their credit. But because the Politico published first, I didn't even know the Washington Post reported on this.
Exactly, and I think that's why this is important. So there's the most important part, and let's just zoom out, because this does potentially explain why a drunken Platner enters the home. It stops there, because...
No, you want to know why it didn't matter that he showed up? Because they had previously had an intimate relationship. I wasn't confused. I wasn't like, why would he show up? I was already like, oh, okay, like, they were intimate before, they had already, like, messaged on Bumble or whatever. Maybe she gave him her keys or like whatever. The door was unlocked. I like, okay, whatever it is. Okay, so he just showed up. I don't know, maybe I've had friendships where people can just like knock and come over. Like, that's not out of this world. Like, it's not so unreasonable that I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I wasn't confused about that. I was like, oh, okay, maybe they were together for some period of time, whether that was like just like a friends with benefits thing or whatever, something casual. So maybe he showed up and he didn't get the text messages or whatever. But it's like nobody cares about that part, and nobody's covering that part, because the part that matters is the fact that she told him, no, stop, in person, and he didn't stop. Covering anything else is a fucking irrelevant waste of your fucking time.
That's where the rest of the evening and her account of the evening, it no longer accounts for. But it does explain a detail. And I think what was key to the understanding generally that all of us had was that it did genuinely appear as if Platner had been told explicitly not to come over there, understood that to be the case, broke into the home effectively. Entering a home unannounced, and which just whether it's unlocked or not, is a full-blown crime. I mean, and I do think that that's part of why we need to assess this very seriously. The very definition of what Jenny has alleged here is a full-blown gross sexual assault, Class A felony in the state of Maine with statute of limitations for 20 years. That's what she is alleging, which carries a significant prison sentence for like decades potentially in prison. And that is my understanding of how I need to evaluate what is being alleged here. I want to make that clear. Now, if I were then to submit to due process or something like that in a trial, and I saw something like that, it would significantly change, again, my understanding of how the event were to begin. This does not in any way say that she is lying about what then transpired.
Wow. You are a sack of shit. Both of these people are sacks of shit. Ryan Grimm especially. Oh my fucking God. And then he decided to go on Twitter and post through the pain. Politico knew at the time of publication precisely what Raska was texting to Graham Platner, but deliberately omitted it from their article. According to the lead Politico reporter on the story, she told Platner she needed her glute massage. She told her he was coming right over. She responded by telling him no, not to, but he came over quickly. Whether this detail is important to you or not is a shocking breach of journalistic ethics by Politico and CNN not to include in their coverage. Story at drop site to follow. Replying to his tweets with, "This makes me not want to use Dropsite anymore. I will hereby remove all of my funding for Dropsite and never support Dropsite ever again, so long as they are attached to you. Every time you mention Dropsite, I would like to remind you that I am no longer a subscriber of Dropsite, and I hate Dropsite news now. And I am not joking. That is how every single Ryan Grimm tweet should be responded to. And then, like, people are resurfacing this shit. Wait, sorry. First of all, that was like one tweet in like a sea of tweets as he was co-posting through the night. If Politico had in fact reported that a text she sent was misinterpreted as an invitation, that would be different, but they didn't. Jenny was right to share the information with the media. Politico was wrong to not include it and imply a break-in. It is absolutely not an invitation for rape. Totally agree. As a writer, would you have included this detail in your story? Totally agree. If she was trying to make something up, she would not have shared that detail. I made the point on the segment today. Yeah, no, dude, keep tweeting. Keep tweeting. This is your lawyer speaking. This is your PR person speaking. Keep tweeting. Yes, keep tweeting. Burn all of your goodwill straight to the ground. You don't need it anymore. You don't need it where you're going, man. Keep posting. Keep posting through it, man. Keep going. Yes, King. This makes you look so good. So good, man. Yes. And then I saw this. I don't know how I never saw this. I guess I'm not plugged in enough to have seen this. Ryan Grimm says he's glad Platner won because it's forcing progressives to confront bigotry against white men, comparing it to people coming out of the closet. Wait, what's it called when you... Oh, anagram. People anagramming his name. I don't know if you can use that as like a verb. People anagramming his name to be Aryan Grim is amazing. Stop. And by that I mean don't stop. Why is the audio not playing? I would like to listen to this clip now, Twitter, please. One volume, please. It's not muted.
Early 2010s.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, for a long time. And
it's a flip side of back in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
And 2000s, when the gay rights movement was gaining steam. What
the Barney Frank argument.
What people discovered, is that you've got a gay uncle. You actually, once people started coming out of the closet.
The Andrew Sullivan argument.
Yeah, once people started coming out of the closet, like, oh, that guy's gay. I love that guy. He's great, and my life is fine around him. This is the reverse for liberals. It's like, this is a white guy, and he's actually pretty nice.
A big burly combat vet.
Big burly combat vet.
Someone you could see with Joe Rogan.
And he's fine. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Like the current cultural divorce between kind of progressives and white men is so like stark that it's just culturally, morally, ethically wrong, but also just pragmatically from a political perspective, you can't build a national party.
Yeah.
If you assume every white guy, or every white guy with a deep voice as a combat vet or whatever, is like out to get you.
Or if you talk about him in a way that implies he does have sort of built-in problems.
Right.
So
just inherent toxicity or something.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone criticizing Platner was because of the Nazi tattoo, man. In fact, I didn't see anyone say, I just don't like Platner. His skin color bothers me. I did not see anyone, and I don't know anyone who said that at any point. His voice is too deep and his skin tone is too light and it bothers me. Are we serious? How have I never seen this clip? Oh my God. I have no words. I'm speechless about this. The only time I saw anyone bring up his race was to say that no black or brown candidates would ever get so far with as many red flags, which is just factually correct. No one said, like, I'm not going to vote for him because he's white. I didn't see anyone say that. Maybe there's like one Twitter schizo that wrote that. I don't know. But I didn't see anyone say that. I saw people say, I'm sorry, I can't overlook his comments about his war experience, his deployment. I'm sorry, I can't overlook the tattoo. I can't. It's not just something I can just ignore. But like, okay, I didn't grow up as a white person. I like that how that suggests I could be a white person now. I'm not white. So I don't know, but like, is there like a Nazi tattoo factory that every white person has to go to growing up and they have to resist and you get told like, come on, you got to get it. You got to get the giant Nazi tattoo on your chest. You have to do it. And you're like, no, I will resist. And everyone's peer pressuring you or something. Maybe that happens to all white people in this country. And I didn't know about that. And if that's true, I'm sorry for being, dismissive of your experiences. But I have not, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck is going on, man? Check your privilege. Sorry, right, my bad. Is Ryan Grimm so desperate for a progressive in Maine that he's trying to make excuses for Platner just to stay in the race, or do you think he genuinely believes this shit? I mean, other people are resurfacing this shit that he said in 2007. In 2007, Ryan Grimm shamed Jessica Valenti for standing with good posture while being an attractive woman, claiming doing so made her breasts the focal point of the photo, then added the line, Valenti isn't shy about her body. I've juxtaposed Grimm's texts with the text pic of Valenti. Let's take a closer look at those breasts. A post about a female blogger who posed for a photo in front of Bill Clinton. Jessica Valenti, who runs and blogs on feministing.com, is standing at an angle with a slight arch in her back, making the focal point of the photo, whether intentional or not, her breasts. Valenti isn't shy about her body. She just published a book called Full Frontal Feminism, a young woman's guide to why feminism matters. Is it this one? This photo is in so low quality. Is this the photo? She's also not arching her back. She's like kind of hunched over, low key. Her shoulders are like, let me try and imitate. Like you can see, let me move over. Move my hair to the side so we can try and imitate. Let's see. I think I have breasts. Let's try this. She's kind of like doing more like this. She's kind of slouching a little. I'm trying to imitate it to the best of my ability. She's kind of slouching a little bit. This would be like fully trying to like arch. So, and also, what would be wrong with that? Wait, there are other people in this room? All I see are two floating breasts. Don't let Ryan Grimm see this. Dude, Ryan Grimm is going to see this clip of me and he's going to be like, her breasts are so big and they're the focal point of the room and it bothers me. And it bothers me. And the Clipper channels are going to be like, viewership was down, so Denim started throwing it back. This is like the world's biggest self-report on the planet. She's wearing like the most unflattering gray shirt, but she made the mistake of having breasts. Classic mistake. Up there with like driving while black. Classic mistake. It's a very easy mistake to make. I understand. Sometimes you foolishly have breasts in a photo that are completely covered. And you should know better, you fucking whore. You consider that? You consider knowing better? You fucking slut? Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you take them off and leave them at home? Like you should. I have no words. I have no words. That's amazing. I'm sorry. Like, this is... You don't go on this generational crash out because you're desperate for a progressive candidate. You go on a generational crash out like this when you're a misogynistic piece of shit that cares more about your fucking white men being destigmatized so progressives can confront bigotry against white men. Amazing. Like, you can't win with these losers. Have breast, then you're a slut. You want top surgery, mentally ill? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. So it's just, I'm sorry. Like, this is like, you literally think white men are the most oppressed people. I don't know how else you can look at this and see anything other than this. I can't believe this clip is real.
It's a flip side of back in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
And 2000s. When the gay rights movement was gaining steam.
No, this isn't AI, right? This is real?
The Barney Frank argument?
What people discovered, is that you've got a gay uncle. You actually, once people started coming out of the closet.
The Andrew Sullivan argument.
Yeah, once people started coming out of the closet, like, oh, that guy's gay? I love that guy. He's great. And my life is fine around him. This is the reverse for liberals. It's like, this is a white guy, and he's actually pretty nice.
What? Pretty nice for a white guy is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm so discombobulated from this. The only time I've changed my mind about a white person is when they can handle spice really well. And I'm like, damn, okay, white boy. You got swag, okay. And that's the only time. Like, it's just, like, what is happening in this guy? Where does your brain have to be that you're like, progressives, they just don't like white people. They just don't like us at all. Nobody wants to hang out with me. I don't get it. It's just like so mean to me. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? The mythical good white man. It's just so bizarre.
A big burly combat vet.
Big burly combat vet.
Someone you could
in
see
your
with
family.
Joe Rogan.
And he's fine. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Like the current cultural divorce between kind of progressives and white men is so.
Okay, I can't. That's enough. That's amazing. That is an amazing clip. That is Why are you guys as progressives? Why do you guys hate white people so much? Can you just explain to me that? I'm just glad Platner's finally around so people can come around on white guys. Thank goodness. Thank fucking goodness, man. Close these. And then I like Dropsite quickly trying to do some fucking damage control. They deleted their old tweet. Yesterday they had tweeted out, I never worked for Blackwater, main Senate candidate Graham Platner. Wait, no, not this. Oh, this was a separate post. Grim whining about journalistic ethics of reporting on Platner's rape allegations is rich when Dropsite News spent months laundering Platner's Blackwater stint. Will y'all ever address that Platner worked for its rebrand, Constellus, and openly hawks Blackwater merch instead of playing dumb? Oh, it's almost like it wasn't about the journalistic integrity for Ryan Grim, and it was about the fact that he didn't like seeing his fellow white man get accused of rape because, you know, his buddy's a rapist. Yeah, it must have just not liked that. Wow. Yesterday, our post on Politico's reporting of sexual assault allegations against Graham Platner were intended to summarize reporting Ryan Grim discussed on breaking points regarding details Politico omitted from the story. Language of our post left the impression that text messages by Platner's accuser, Jenny Raskog, are relevant to whether or not she was raped in any way, justified the alleged assault she described. That was not the intention, and that is not the position of Dropsite or Ryan. We genuinely value the feedback and criticism we've received from many readers and have deleted the post. More like you deleted the post because you were getting overwhelming amounts of negativity, you fucking lying sexist shit. Whatever, dude. Fuck off, man. Literally fuck off. I can't, dude. I can't. I'm done. I'm done with Dropsite. I'm done with Ryan Grim. Fuck those people. I'm open to anyone willing to apologize for like full-throated endorsement of Graham Platner and ignoring like the warning signs, but I'm sorry, if the first thing you do when it turns out that Platner is not running anymore and he's dropping out and everyone's told him to drop out because, you know, he's being accused of being a fucking rapist, and your first response is, I feel like Politico should have been reporting differently on this story. Like, fuck you, man. This is all I gotta say on that, man.
Good, how are you?
Doing well.
I wanted to ask, given that you have a sort of ascendant role in the Democratic Party, could you talk about the main Senate race? Do you think that Graham Platner should drop out of the race? And do you have any intention of endorsing any candidates in competitive races outside of New York, El Said, or anyone else?
Now, I believe that it's time for him to drop out of the race. And when it comes to my own endorsements, I've made 8 endorsements at the state and federal level. They've all been right here in New York City. I'm incredibly excited at the fact that they won their races, and that's where my focus is for now. Hey, how's it going, Sally?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
I wanted to ask, given that you have a sort of ascendant.
And it's that easy. Dude, so many people are getting timeouts today. I'm sorry. Like, I have a zero tolerance. I have zero tolerance on... Just, like, use your brain for a second. Every single progressive candidate or progressive politician is telling Platner to drop out. And you're like, well, do we know for sure? Go, take 2 weeks off, and come back when you can use your fucking brain, man. Come back when you can use it. I have no words. It's just, yeah. I really hope that... story. I wanted to watch this maybe as well, but I really hope that... First, I want to pull up Emma talking about it, because I think it's fair to give her not credit where credit is due, but rather... I like to encourage behavior that I like, all right? And I think we should be encouraging these people to apologize and make amends. So I want to start there.
Everybody, I just wanted to jump on here to address the serious, credible allegations against Graham Platner. This story is devastating. I believe the victim here. I think that Graham should drop out of the race. He has betrayed many, many supporters by not being forthright about this. I would include myself in that. I believed his campaign when they said that there was nothing new coming out. And it looks like an awful, awful accusation, and a credible one has come out. Now, this movement has never been about one individual. Any candidate that takes up the mantle here should share Graham's belief or the campaign's belief in ending complicity in the genocide.
Sorry, 1 second.
In Gaza, Medicare for all, taxing billionaires, and more. But obviously,
I don't think it's this
is
one.
a devastating development, and we'll be talking about it more on the majority report.
There's like a full segment. I want to find it. No, it's not this one. Also, remember, apologies are placeholders for promised changes in behavior. Correct. She apologized live. Yeah, I just need to find the actual video. 1 sec. If someone has it, but I need to pick... Or my cat is bothering me. 1 sec. My cat is bothering me, and it bothers me. Sorry, took care of business. Majority report. Expecting apologies for pushing him before is wild. Woke shit. How about you try, like, for a moment? Just considering. That's not what I'm asking. I'm saying apologize for constantly calling anything against Platner a smear campaign. It's about the way that a lot of these leftist commentators treated victims that had tried to come out and speak about it before, and treated any criticism as a smear campaign. It's not apologizing for picking someone that you thought was worth winning. I don't have any issue with that. I think saying, hey, yeah, his comments before were unacceptable, and I hear everything everyone is saying, but I do believe him when he says that he's changed, and every single policy that he's for is something I'm for, and I think he will benefit the people of Maine. There's no apology needed. You were willing to listen. You explained why your position hadn't changed. And now your position has changed. it's about like it's about this shit that I took issue with. Honestly, it's in the very beginning.
War and death and other
I'm finding
bad stuff.
I've
only made one other video about Graham Platner back in mid-November of 2025. He has been in the news quite a bit since then, but it turns out, I think I did a pretty good job in the original video covering all of the bases. So I didn't think it was necessary until now. Let me catch you up in case you missed everything until this moment. Last year, Graham Platner launched his campaign to win one of Maine's Senate seats for the Democrats. It's an important seat. It could shift control of the Senate to the Dems. Platner is a former Marine who had a fairly progressive platform, like championing Medicare for all, criticizing U.S. aid to Israel, etc. So a lot of people, a lot of progressives were very excited to support him. And then his opposition went to work. First, someone exposed his Reddit account where a few years ago he blamed women for being raped and said that...
This is insane. This is a real Reddit post from him. Holy fuck, how about people just take some responsibility for themselves and not get so fucked up that they wind up having sex with someone they don't mean to? Men and women, you make a choice to consume enough of a substance to lose your self-control. So if you don't want to be in a compromising situation, act like an adult for fuck's sake. Rape is a real thing. If you're so worried about it, to buy Kevlar underwear, you think you might not get blacked out, fucked up around people you aren't comfortable with. You know what's crazy? It actually doesn't matter how many people get blacked out. You don't rape them! That's insane!
He wished he had been able to fight the Indians back when the United States was genociding Native Americans instead of the pointless wars he had to fight in Iraq and Afghanistan. By had to fight, he volunteered to fight them several times over. Platner apologized for those Reddit posts, and then his opposition revealed he has an actual Nazi tattoo on his chest, which he got 19 years ago to celebrate fighting as a Marine in Fallujah. Instead of apologizing for the Nazi tattoo, Platner made up the completely ridiculous story that he had no idea the tattoo was a very famous Nazi symbol. And it was on his chest for 19 years. Instead of criticizing this really obvious lie, among others he would tell, and calling on Platner to step down and support a different progressive candidate 6 months before the primary, many prominent leftists repeated his lies and continued to promote Platner to their audiences. In that original video, I specifically called out
We'll just start, obviously.
Ryan Grimm. But I've also noted, Hassan Piker, Kyle Kulinski, the Young Turks, and many other commentators that continued to support him. Anyway, here's how I wrapped up that video.
My own personal opinion is that he probably figured out what it was several years ago, but was also like, well, it's not like I can justify this to me. Speaking to himself, and anybody who knows me knows I'm not a Nazi. So am I really going to go and pay for this thing to get all screwed up? That's my guess.
So you agree? You agree that Graham Platner is probably lying about not knowing he had a Nazi tattoo? Sam comes to the same conclusion I did, but he doesn't go the extra mile, the extra 12 inches, to wonder what it means to support a politician who lies that easily about a Nazi tattoo. He knew he had a Nazi tattoo. He knew he would face no consequences for it, and then he lied about it when he was finally facing consequences. That's your guy? Again, do I think Platner is a Nazi, an anti-Semite? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so. I do know that he is a walking PR disaster, and platforming him removes prominent leftists' ability to rightfully call out anti-Semitic dog whistles.
I'm linking the video. Excellent video. Amazing video. 10 out of 10. Rebecca Watson. And this is like, it's like the very dismissive nature of all of the criticism is just insane. I have no problem with people who, one, didn't know about this stuff. Like, so like average everyday people who just didn't know, because like no one was covering this stuff. But also the commentators who said, listen, if you vote for Platner because he's the best option in Maine, I understand that. And, you know, I encourage you to vote for whoever you think will bring the best policies. I think Platner has a very suspicious record. I wish that we would have an actual DSA endorsed candidate. I wish that we would have a candidate that doesn't have this just like PR disaster waiting to happen. I don't want to vote for a candidate with a fucking Nazi tattoo. And we really should be using this as an opportunity to like push other candidates that maybe would have a better chance of winning instead of ignoring this stuff. But if this is the best we have, I understand, but also I don't want this candidate. And like, that's like, there's nothing in my eyes, there's nothing wrong with that stance. There's nothing wrong with that stance at all. I know other people would disagree with me and say, no, you shouldn't give any leeway at all. But, that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I just think like you can get caught up in like, not the team sports of it, but like the team sports of it. And you can end up putting more eggs in a basket than you think that you just get so caught up and you want your guy to win so bad that you start just ignoring everything. Like, people have blind spots. I understand. What Ryan Grimm did is like, goodbye, Ryan Grimm. Goodbye. Goodbye forever. That's incredible. That is literally incredible. That's amazing. Fuck you. Like, I've heard everything I need to. Versus something like this.
Obviously, I do feel a responsibility as a woman that, you know, perhaps, I don't know, I'm still thinking about this, but I believe in redemption and restorative justice, and that is what had driven me to support Platner despite some of his past. But when we're talking about...
Hassan called him his goat, chat. Come on. Okay, let me say two things. One, I also think Hassan supported him too uncritically. I don't think he supported him uncritically, but I think he could have been more critical, to be very clear. But second, he calls Candace Owens his goat, all right? He says Fox News is his goat. I would take him describing someone as his goat with a grain of salt. I'm pretty sure he says Trump is his goat. I'm pretty sure he said Biden was his goat. I think that's... You can criticize Hassan, and I would say I think he should have been more critical. I think he should have been a lot more critical of Graham Platner than he was. I think he could still be like, I think this is still the best candidate in Maine. But I think he should have been more critical. But saying like, well, you called him his goat. It's like, okay, all right. Wait, that's a meaningless statement. That's literally a meaningless statement. All right.
Forcible rape and sexual assault. Obviously, there is no excuse.
He was critical of him, though. Listen to the words I'm saying. I said he should have been more critical. All right. What does that imply? That he was not enough.
And immediately, once I read the story, I knew that he had to drop out of the race. And so I'm sorry if there are any women in the audience that feel that I failed them. I take that super seriously. I carry that with me. And I'm sorry. So, you know, I still maintain that what was said in the New York Times was not disqualifying, but what is alleged here just absolutely is. And the not that it should matter given what the details were and what the corroboration is, but this individual, this woman who is accusing him, supports his politics, and that is why she was reticent to come forward in the first place. And I'm sorry if myself or anybody, you know, I'm sorry if I contributed to that culture. And so I'm reflecting on that myself. Now, the national media is going to try to blame this on DSA. I'm already seeing this. He was not endorsed by DSA. Like Gonzalez in Colorado, you can't just call someone a DSA style candidate.
Correct. Isn't there a part of the left had very few viable candidates, so it's better than nothing? I mean, I already addressed that point, so yes. Yes, there were red flags, but with no actual proof, no one could have actually known. I think that it's a little bit more than with no actual proof. I think someone's actions, combined with their words, combined with their Nazi tattoo, speaks on their beliefs on hierarchical structures and how they view other people. It's like, this is a pattern of behavior that is innate. And I don't think that, okay, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a bitch, so I'm just going to say it, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way. I don't think you realize that the people who you like admitted this and said, I think he changed. So there was proof that he believed in all of these hierarchical structures, which also, in the specific hierarchical structures that he believed in, would put women under men, and thereby making it so their consent is not important. But they saw that evidence of that belief system, and they said, I think he has changed. And they believed that he changed. Not that there was no proof, but that they believed that he was changed. So I think you should correct your statement there. It's my personal. There was also proof of personal growth. I mean, I would argue that there wasn't proof of personal growth. I would argue all he did was say the right things. I don't know that he actually proved any growth. He just said, like, and this is what I believe in, and I believe in all the good things. All right. In hindsight, true. So I'm not trying to, like, blast you. I'm not trying to, like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to, like, make this a hostile environment to chatters that are just trying to have a conversation. Because the chatters that are just straight up doing rape apologia, they're just getting banned. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't have any fucking... I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out of my chat. But if you're just trying to have a conversation, I just think that, like, we could all do better. And I think that, like, he didn't do enough to get the level of support that he got and the lack of criticalness that should have been there. So yeah, that's my opinion. And again, you guys already know my stance. Like, I don't believe in burning leftists forever. There aren't that many, like, political commentators on the internet that, or just in general, progressive political commentators that exist, period, that I'm willing to just, like, throw the baby out with the bathwater. All right? Like, I'm not down for that. I don't want to just, like, okay, well, this person made this mistake this one time to throw them out. It's like, guys, we've got, like, 10, all right? Let's try and get them to change and improve. Oh, Ryan Grimm saw this and immediately started going on defense about how Politico was not reporting this correctly, and let's start poking holes in this story. Now you can get thrown out. Now you can get thrown out. Okay, fuck you. But if you see this and you're like, hey, I could have been better. I'm sorry. I contributed to this, which is what Emma Vigeland said here. I contributed to, like, this culture that makes women feel unsafe and makes them not feel like they can come out, and I shouldn't have done that, and I should be better, and I want to be better. Like, that's what I want, okay? I think we can be critical and ask for more. That's all. I don't think that... I think that that's reasonable. I think that that's mostly pretty reasonable. If you double down on Platner, I mean, we all know that Anna Kasparian is not a progressive at this point, but...
Because it places us in this unbearable position of having to adjudicate something that should have been adjudicated in a court of law if this actually took place. If someone entered my home and forcibly raped me, I would not allow the individual who forcibly raped me, that's violent, right, to remain in my home and sleep it off. But that is what she did. She alleges that he was so drunk that she didn't want to tell him to leave because he might harm someone on the road. He just forcibly raped you, right? Call the cops, or more importantly, get the hell out of the house. But she did neither one of those things. Neither one of those things.
Yeah.
Because it places us...
Didn't this lady leave the left because she felt like people on the internet didn't take her sexual assault seriously? Yeah, guys, you know, I wonder why the woman who was raped didn't immediately wake up the rapist who just raped her. Yeah. I wonder why. Hmm. It must have been because she was chill. She was chill about it. That must have been it, right? Okay. That's amazing. That's incredible. I'm a trans woman. I didn't know my opinion of her could get any lower, yet here we are, says one chatter. You know, it can always go lower. It can always go lower. But guys, I think you guys were shitting on a good chatter. Why did this chatter get banned? Can you chat? Why did we ban this person? You guys just banned someone who didn't deserve to be banned. Okay, my mods chill a little bit. They were saying, that's not how it works. I mean, she's right. He could crash. The chatter was saying that the rape victim was right. That maybe you shouldn't put a drunk person in front of a car so that they can go what? After they've raped you, they can go kill some people on the fucking road and drive drunk? They were just saying that. Misunderstanding. Sorry about that chatter. Friendly fire on that chatter. Friendly fire. Like, it's also like, I'm sorry. Maybe this is too woke. I don't think it's too woke, but I'm always surprised. Maybe this is too woke. I'm not going to tell a rape victim what they need to do immediately after they're raped. That's fucking crazy. Like, do you fucking hear yourself? Well, you should have immediately alerted the police. You should have immediately gotten a rape kit done. You should immediately not feel any trauma or any concern or pain or discomfort. You should be a completely stiff robot, do everything correctly, 100%. It's like, it takes people years to process that they were even assaulted. Sometimes. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not writing a how to be the perfect rape victim guide. How about, oh yeah, and I guess if you were in their shoes, you would have done everything correct. Fuck you, man. Like literally fuck you, man. Like, I just have no words for that. I have no words, man. What more did you want her to do besides say, no, stop, don't come over, and when he was over, say, stop, get off me? Like, what? All right. I'm sorry, like, I'm people who say that make me think that they've never experienced trauma. I blocked my sexual assault from my memory for years. I couldn't even acknowledge it without breaking down. I hate this lady so much. Jesus Christ, said Meowzlebub. Chad, I used to like... It's also like... This is a lighthearted story to help cut through some of the tension. There was a step in my house growing up, or like my apartment growing up, and I would like carry stuff, and I used to run a lot when I was younger, before I was a gamer. And I, more than once, I think at least 5 times, I would run, trip on the step, and then I would literally drop the entire gallon of milk on the floor, and then I would watch it. And then my mom would threaten to beat my ass and be like, what are you doing? Pick it up! And that's to say, I was so stressed in that moment, I couldn't move. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? This was when I was really young. This idea that, like, you need to respond perfectly every time to everything is, like, it's just insane. It's just insane. Especially when, like, I don't know, man. Personally, I wouldn't want to wake up the rapist in my house because I wouldn't want them to fucking rape me again. Just really quickly, I don't know why that's so, like, controversial to think, because that's what I thought immediately when I saw it. I was immediately like, yeah, I actually wouldn't want to interact with that person. So you literally cried over spilled milk? Yeah, I did. I did. I spilled a really expensive wine bottle and I legitimately froze while it was pouring over because I was so stressed my parents would beat my ass. And that's us reacting to really simple things. That's like me reacting to dropping a liquid on the floor. And not even on carpet. It's on like linoleum or whatever. And I was so stressed I couldn't react to that. This idea that it's like you would go through something actually traumatic. Because it's, I mean, dropping something is not necessarily traumatic, right? Especially as a kid. But like actually going through something extremely traumatic where your consent has been completely violated by another person. And you expect them to act perfectly. Like, fuck. Like, literally, like, fuck you, man. Like, oh my God. You're scum. You are scum of the earth. You're so scum. Somebody needed to stop Anna there and say, I'm sorry. Did you just say the word let just now about a guy who sexually assaulted you by force? Harsh reality checks are sometimes called for. It's just, it's so insane. It's so insane, man. Personally, the only time you should be flaming people for reacting poorly is in team fights in video games. That's totally fair game, all right? I don't care how stressed you were. Grow up, all right? Go in, man. We're going to lose the point. Please, for the love of God. And I will yell at you for an hour afterward. I'm sorry. Being stressed isn't a good enough reason for you to be losing my fucking LP and my RP, man. That's not good enough. I need you to be better, man. I need you to be better. I will tell you an uninstall. What if I apologize? Not good enough. Not good enough. So on the topic of people being exposed and showing their true colors, hey, quick question. What the fuck is this? Someone sent this Miz tweet earlier. Hey, Asmongold, are you going to react to your Queen Emiru's 48 minutes of lies? Or do you want to keep hitting on her, saying how cool you are for using the N-word as passwords at 33 years old? Emiru sent this to me in a screenshot years ago. I'm sorry, what? So is this what he meant by demon mode? Emiru said, a creative, huh? And then Asmongold wrote the N-word with like different letters and numbers. Like I'm talking really creative shit like that. This isn't even creative. Screenshot. Emiru says screenshotted JK. He said at a certain point, he wasn't even the word anymore. LOL. Everyone knows I said it. Don't worry. Emiru said omega lol. Asmon says, I think I even have videos of me saying it. Emiru says, really? LOL. Asmon says, yeah, I have like super bad stuff online and no one cares. Emiru says, but Pokimane is a racist for her clips. But you don't try to act perfect, I guess. Omega laughing. Asmon says, yeah, that's why people hate her, not because of the words. LOL, it's the fakeness 100%. I feel like Mizkif is pretty much over the canceled stuff, but it's always going to be there. And he can't joke around with it like I know he would because of OTK. LOL. You ever riz up women by telling them that your passwords are variations of the N-word? Wait, I was half joking when I said I think the reason that like I triggered Asmongold with that meme was because that's what their actual DMs actually looked like. But I was just joking when I said that. Did I actually strike a nerve? Wait. When I made this tweet, and I said, breaking, Emiru messages have been leaked with Asmongold. And it's this meme. And he got really hurt. He got so butthurt about it. Wait, is it because he actually? Dude, what are these fucking messages? Oh my god, dude, stop. Denims, can you see the future? Yeah. Yeah, I actually have a crystal ball. I don't want to tell you guys this, but yeah, I do. I'm actually a seer. Pre-watch Denims, Noster Denims, exactly. I desperately need you to comment on the absurdity of this Riz working on Emiru. Well, I don't think it's working though. I don't think it actually worked though. They dated? No, I don't think but I don't think Asmon and Emiru dated. I don't know them, so I don't know. It's just speculation, but I'm pretty sure that is not happening. Maybe if he like showered. I'm sorry, dude. Like that shit's too disgusting. That's like, it's like actually it's disgusting. A shower is not gonna help here. I think a shower won't do enough at this point. Yeah, the bar really is in hell. You guys ever laugh about someone using the N-word as their password? I saw Asmon, sorry, not Asmon, I saw Mizkif put out a video talking about the Emiru stuff, and I was thinking we could do that on the weekend. I thought that was a good shit Saturday thing to do. I don't want to cover it today because I really wanted to cover the Platner stuff. So we'll probably do that on Saturday. But I have to say, like, I saw a little bit of it, and if you guys can believe it, Emiru lied about a lot of things. And she used a lot of her goodwill to lie about those things. Which is all right. Mizkif is a piece of shit, but Emiru might be worse. Is that not insane? Yeah, we'll look at it on Saturday. Oh, I'll look at this later, Greggles. I wanted to do a little bit of research first before I touch this. I don't know. Kilo's been pretty right about a lot of things. So is Emiru like actually a liar? I haven't really been paying attention. Did she lie about Mizkif, or was it true? Did she leave stuff out? Well, like some of the stuff she lied about, for example, was she was like insisting that like she had broken up with him, and he had like proof and receipts showing that like he was the one that broke up with her multiple times. And that's like one of many things, and it's like why would you lie about that? What? But like I said, we'll get to it on shit Saturday. We'll talk about it then. I think like another one is like the like physical abuse that she had like talked about on her original stream, and she said that like it was really serious for her, the phone thing. And then like he had proof or something showing that that wasn't the case, and that like she literally was like laughing about it on stream because she thought it was funny. But she wanted to frame it as like this was a very abusive and hostile environment, so she like rewrote it. And I'm like, all right, man. Yeah, I love when this happens, dude. I love that. That's so good. That's so good. I love it. This is so great for everyone involved. That's so dope and sick, right? Isn't that so good and dope? He also like recontextualizes some of the stuff that she had originally framed. So I think a lot of people originally when they saw the clip, they were like, okay, yeah, sure. Even if it's not the technical definition of sexual assault, it doesn't change the fact that like you saw her crying and you used it as an opportunity to like have sex with her or whatever. And that's piece of shit of you. And he showed like a bunch of receipts or something and a bunch of logs of like how this is like a shitty toxic relationship between two people where I don't know how people do this shit, by the way. Every time a relationship has ended in my life, I basically stop not talking to that person, but I never restart a relationship I've ended. Once it's done, it's done. But they had like they would break up, or he would break up with her, or sometimes she would break up with him. And then she would call him and tell him to come over. And she would initiate sex. And they would like fight and like cry and then make up. And that was an instance of that happening. Except in that instance, she was like, I don't want to have sex. And then he fucked off. And I was like, oh, I guess you wouldn't want to provide the context of this being a back and forth, break up, make up, fight, break up, make up relationship. Because then you can't contextualize this one experience as this one thing. And it's like, all right, man. Okay. So it's just like really very mold-inducing experience looking at some of the stuff in that. So yeah. Whoa, wait, does that change anything? You don't have to contextualize your own sexual assault. Well, the problem is that what the experience she described that he agreed with, like the exact details that had happened, was that she said she screamed when he like tried to initiate and then he stopped. Which is what you would want anyone to do. That the moment that you show discomfort, the other person stops. But I think people listened to what she said and tried to frame what she said, even though what she described is what you would want to happen. They reframed it and were like, oh, well, maybe he should have known that she was vulnerable and she wouldn't want that. Like, I tried to understand it from her perspective and say, like, oh, okay, like, that's why he would do that. So that you can see the chat messages right now about, like, that people describing it saying, yeah, he was trying to take advantage of her in an emotional state. Why would he be trying to, like, initiate sex when she's crying? What normal person does that? Apparently, they did all the time when they would break up and then make up. Yeah, that's what's called a toxic relationship. And it's like, oh, okay. You don't know anything about abusive relationships, do you? Okay. You can just fuck off, man. It's totally good. If you want to pretend like you have seen everything, all the evidence, and just be annoying, go for it. But yeah, we'll talk about it in detail on Saturday. When did Wormy get on me? There's a conflict reward cycle in those relationships that's very addicting and hard to break out of. I mean, yeah. Like, dare I say, and again, I think a lot of people were willing to give her the benefit of the doubt in her description of the stuff and be like, okay, well, I want to believe that you wouldn't describe a situation that was otherwise, like, fine for you as something that when it wasn't, unless maybe he should have known these things and he would have known these things, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? What was I going to pull up? Sorry, let me clarify that point. Some people need to be in therapy and not streaming, I fear. Yeah. But I will tell you, knowing that there are people that go for the dopamine hit of, like, let me just pull up the song, actually. No. This one? This VOD is about to get nuked. This song just does bang, PBQH. Like, when she described the original story and when she described what happened, he stopped when she communicated that she wanted it to stop by, in her case, screaming, right? Which is what you would expect and what you would hope, right? At the very least, that's what I would hope, that the moment that you communicate disgust or frustration, that the other person stops, as you should, as everyone should. So if there was nothing wrong in that particular action, there had to have been something wrong with the original stuff, right? That the full picture is explaining how, oh, he should have known better and he took advantage of me when I was in a state that was, like, vulnerable. And that's, I think, the context everybody else painted with what she said, which is reasonable, right? Because, I mean, I don't know, these are serious allegations. So for her to, like, misconstrue the nature of the relationship as being something other than exactly what they both did, is insane. So I don't want to get too deep into it, but we'll talk about it on Saturday. That's dishonesty. I mean, again, it's like, it's just, I just don't understand how you could say you're speaking your truth and then, like, half of the stuff that you said was, like, lies. Like, this one's hard for me, not gonna lie. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Seeing this shit, and then obviously you guys have seen the clip of her talking about the lawsuits. It's like, damn, you kind of suck as a person, huh? I kind of can't believe that. But that's kind of cringe, actually. That's kind of really cringe. Not surprising to me. I was willing to believe her because I knew much less about Mizkif. I know Miz is an asshole, so it's so much easier for me to believe that Miz was just like that. This doesn't really change my opinion of Miz. It just brings him from fucking disgrace to a twat. Well, yeah, again, I think a lot of the context of that interaction relies on her, on people believing that that was abnormal and that wasn't something that she would ever want, that she, and he should have known that she would never want to make up when she was crying, and that it was him being like opportunistic or something, right? When that's something that she actively would do, and that was the nature of their relationship, that changes the dynamic, I think, completely. On top of all these things that she had lied about, and then on top of like her general behavior in the past year or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, wait, what the fuck? So yeah, I don't know. We'll talk, like I said, for the 50th time. We'll talk about it more on Saturday, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick little update, and I haven't watched the whole thing, so. Twitch having its own Johnny Depp Amber Heard. I don't even think this is like Johnny Depp Amber Heard at all, honestly. I think it's like actually worse. Are you streaming Friday? No, I just like to do like shit Saturday segments. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it on Friday. I don't know. But I like to do politics on Thursday and Friday, and like internet nonsense on like Saturday and Sunday. So, yeah. All right. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, guys. I need y'all to remember Amber Heard was unequivocally the victim in that case. I mean, don't get me started, okay? All right. Oh, dude. And can I just say, man, I like how no one has talked about Emiru being a botter. Like, no one cares. Like, I haven't seen anyone talk about the fact that Emiru is still capped. She's still viewership capped because she's botted. Like, no one has talked about that at all. It's like, oh, all right. They capped her at 10K and then she just never said anything. It's like, oh, sorry, my bad. I thought people cared about bots on Twitch, but I guess they don't. Sure. I guess I just didn't consider botting myself to be the biggest female streamer. I'll consider that next time. I should do that. You know what? Maybe I'll bot myself. There, look at Wormy, dude. Yeah. Oh, Wormy. Look at her. Look at that fat cat. No, she's only like 7 pounds. She's not even fat. She's just worm-like. All right, everybody. Well, I am going to head off for today. Please, everybody, have a great rest of your day. Stay hydrated. Tell your homies you love them. And I will see all of you guys tomorrow, everybody. Bye. Wormy, say bye. Bye.